talking headlines, world news, red carpets and views, politics in the streets, not just suits on the news. From the culture to the chaos, we bring it. No crap. Man off the record, we tell it like it is. No fluff, no fear, just facts and real biz. Voices of the people, stories that connect. From gossip to the government, you know what's next.
You on mute, Minion.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It is OTR off the record. We in the building on the scene. I have my partners in crime. What's good, Foxy? What's good? I said what I said.
Everything's copacetic, Minion. Just trying to find out what's going on for today. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm here today with my buddy Minion with the Pen and my beautiful queen. I said what I said. We're ready to get it started. Let's see what the other king is doing.
Hey.
Uh-oh. All right, so guys, this is an impromptu live. We just want to get some live footage on what's going on with the No Kings protest. So we're going to be reporting it live. Let's look at, I think this is going to be live footage from, I believe, let me see who this is. USA Today, y'all. This is from around the world. So let's see exactly what's going on and put it up on the screen for us. Are you guys going to any of the protests out there? Do you guys have protests in your area?
Well, I do here in Washington D.C.
I do
And
as well.
and I do too.
Well, I do.
What's good, Kevin Smith?
Hey, Eve has many faces. Hey, Alice. Thank you guys for joining us. We're just watching the live protest. OTR is on the scene today. It was an impromptu live, so we just decided to start showing it. So sorry about not giving you guys a notification, but thank you for joining us in the chat. And thank everybody for joining in Foxy, Roxy chat and Minion's chat. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome my Foxy fans, and thank you. Hi, Justin. Can you be our moderator for the day?
Hey, Tanya, what's good? Kevin Smith, I think we spoke. All
Mm-hmm.
right, guys, so let's see what is going on out here in these.
United States of America streets, baby. They in the
Okay,
streets.
they
Well, I said in the
outside
streets.
tonight.
Yeah, everybody
Okay.
outside today, baby.
Thank you, Justin. You are a dog. Oh, by the way, Justin, can you put up that disclaimer? Um, the one you had, respect the host, the chat, um, the mods. You know that one you put up the other day.
Let me create a little banner real quick. Y'all, look, these people, and this is in Los Angeles, is what it says at the top. It says warning may contain graphic content. So they look pretty peaceful, but they ain't having it with Trump though.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nobody's doing, anything unlawful. It looks like everybody's peacefully protesting.
hmm But I bet you that's gonna change later on. He's waiting on people to do anything crazy so that he can, unleash martial law on the people. So, Minion, are you gonna do a fair use banner?
I'm
Or,
doing it right now.
or do we have to put that all on our own channels? Do we have to turn our own Fergie's banner on?
No. I'm about to do a ban. Well, Chat GPT about to do us a banner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're photographers or I think they know what they're setting up for you. Yeah, that's what she's doing. She's good. She's
Yes,
local.
Eve
She's always
has
been.
many faces. Yes, I saw that. I heard about that crazy sheriff in Florida.
We're playing a different game. We laugh like
I saw how he took people out if they get out of line, and that's exactly what they want. They want to retaliate against the people. And I bet you before the night is over with, we're gonna have some form of retaliation. Watch and see.
Thank you, Justin.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on.
Ooh, somebody say F ice.
Dang.
They mad, ain't they?
They are madman.
But I'm glad to see them fight back. Look, them. I'm glad to see all of them
You
fighting
so
back.
silly. You so
I'm glad they fighting for their rights. Well, they're the ones who put them in. We didn't put them in office; they did. So this is their fight, not ours. But I am glad to see, that they're not fearful and that they're fighting back. So she said, Eve said, "Did y'all hear about the unalive and Yeah, about the politicians. Yeah, Eve, we just spoke about that. Let me highlight your comment.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Hey, real odds and evens. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome.
But yeah, Eve said, did y'all hear about the unaliving in Minnesota of politicians? For Pop, the guy got away dressed as a cop and in a marked cop vehicle. But see, Eve,
Wow.
that's what happens though, because he has ICE going across America, in plain clothes. And that's what one of the newscasters said yesterday. I saw that on YouTube yesterday. And they was like, anybody can act as an agent because they're not in uniform. So anybody can go in there and act like that they're an ICE agent. And
Hop
one
out of
person
van. Right.
and one person actually robbed somebody, acting like that they were an ICE agent because you got these people in plain clothes and in masks. So now you can have all type of crimes going on.
Exactly.
Because this is America, and we're gonna Americans. You always got some type of crooked people, and they're just doing, creating all type of chaos. And this is what happens when you have a chaotic presidency.
IKEA has what? Yo, look how crowded these streets are. Could you imagine if they were in Florida?
Wow.
They'll
Now
be
this is
getting all run down.
no,
Hmm.
this is in LA. Look, wait till you see the one in Chicago where I just looked at.
Let me go ahead and pull up the one for Chicago because I don't know how long it's gonna take for this one to switch out. So let me pull it up.
Okay. Justin is so crazy. He say Kevin Smith Trina is busy driving around Dalton looking for a friend. I love
Okay.
Justin. I love me some
You
Justin.
said Chicago?
Yes.
I don't like Fox. Maybe I should go with ABC Chicago. I'm gonna go with
There you
ABC.
go. There you go. Yeah, I don't like them either. Don't highlight them.
Yeah,
We want to get them no clout either, because they in with the ops.
yeah, they the ops. All right, y'all. Let's switch over to Chicago.
Chicago don't have that many people.
No, that's not the area they're showing. It's a certain area like around a park that's like crowded.
Well, this is Chicago live, I guess, right now. So I mean, one street.
one
Yeah,
area.
Alice. Alice say happy Barack Obama Appreciation Day to everybody. I know that's
Okay,
right,
I
Alice. Let
know
me out
that's
like
right.
that. Let me out like that one.
Yes, yes. Now
That's
that one, Minion, go ahead, do your clap.
Okay, let's do the clap. That one
a
gets the.
and real odds and even.
All right.
I know that's right. Real odds and even says that I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Let me see. I need to wait for it to come on my TV because I don't have my glasses on. I would be surprised if a real cop. Lots of people are becoming unhinged. Yeah, and that's the whole point. Reals and our odds and evens. Um,
This is giving them the
this is giving them the
open
platform. Yeah.
right to go ahead and just be the real cop that they really wanted to be all along. So,
hmm To be racist, to
hmm
hurt people, to retaliate against people. And so this is what they all been waiting for. They really been waiting on this moment. So now they got it. They're getting
oh
exactly what
look,
they're
look,
asking
some more
for.
people coming in. Okay, they must be walking in from a different place because they're coming in from the bottom.
hmm
But we need all these streets filled.
Yeah, they're not. That's not mad enough for me. That's not mad
Right.
enough. They need to get a little bit madder. And Eve said, "Yeah, it's only going to get worse. People are in turmoil, and certain ones gonna get theirs one way or the another. And don't look like no mark cause tag. Don't look like no mark cause tag. You will be it. That's right.
Let
And
me
so,
see what else we where else we can get some footage from.
yeah. Why did you turn the volume down? You didn't want to hear the noise.
Oh, well, since y'all were talking, I didn't want to be.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
actually, on this one, the volume is on, so
Oh, okay.
it's just uh, it's just the video, not the audio.
Oh, okay. But that's
Let's,
not that many people for Chicago, though.
let's just do No Kings protest. Let me see what's going down down here in Houston.
Yeah.
Let's see what Houston looking like. I don't see anything going on live. Oh, downtown Chicago look like it's. Oh, never mind.
Well, your computer just clocking. It's not showing us nothing different.
Oh, that's because that's what's on there. Let me switch it out because the other one still has some stuff going
Um,
on.
I don't know why. Um, I don't know why I said what I said. Yours is coming up saying on the YouTube, off the record exposing Mayor Harvey, Illinois, hidden debt live.
Oh, you know what? That's my fault. I
But
don't think I put
it's
because I
coming up
think
the
it's
right
on
one
mine
on mine.
too.
It's on mine. No Kings protest around America off the record. Mine's got the right one, but you all don't. So let hers go down. Yeah, yours have the same thing too, man. Mine the only one that has the right one.
Yeah, mine's just have a thumbnail. I mean, yeah, my background. So that's okay, though. I see a fascism sign. I see a clown sign.
I can't remember is it Chicago or Los Angeles. I think it's Los Angeles where they got a blowed up a Trump Boeing blowed up.
Okay, you might want to turn that down, Minion.
You say turn it down because it's copyright.
Yeah, cause of the music. Yeah, cause they're doing the band, so we don't want to, you know.
Get the copyright.
Yeah, cause we've been doing that all week, so let's try not to
Right, exactly.
today. So,
Um,
but yeah, it's a lot of people that's marching in Los Angeles. It looked like they have the biggest crowd so far, or maybe it may be that they're just up close, and we can see them, on the ground, and we're not looking at it from up in the air view.
let me see if I could find some other places. I was looking for Houston, but
Nothing.
oh,
What?
I see Fox now got a multi-view. So let me go ahead and put the multi-view up.
And San Antonio should have something also here in Texas.
Here, let me go ahead and put the multi-view up.
Tell him to go get me some food.
Also, if you want to look at Chicago again, go to the one NBC5 Chicago.
Kim, stop it.
Yeah, ain't no kings for we ain't got no kings out here. Did you put these chats up? I'm sorry if I'm because I don't want to re-put them up. If you did
Put what up?
any of these chats,
Oh, highlight some of the chats.
yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
No, I said did you already? Because I don't want to.
Oh, okay. You want to take them down?
No. I didn't know if you did it already because I wasn't paying. I was looking at this thing. I didn't want to put them back up.
I had put some of. The last one is Alice Blessed God of Child. Said if he was in a marked cop vehicle. That was the last one that I put up, but I can hide it. We don't have to put the people name up there because we don't need them being doxxed either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could just say what the comments are and not highlight them.
Look at that
Now,
crowd.
she's in Washington, the one on the bottom down there. That's represented. I can't say her name because it's a Muslim name. Pramaga, or whatever her name is. Pramaga or something.
You
like
hear what
that.
they saying?
Yeah, F Ice.
Yeah. Wow. And they ain't even gonna get risk. I mean, but see, you wanna know what?
If they're in Los Angeles, they're not going to be arrested. It's only in the South is where they have to worry about retaliation, and in Washington D.C. See, they're in L.A.
Like they like that.
I don't think they're gonna mess with anybody in Washington D.C. either, because they got the fancy stuff up, and there's too many politicians there. Where's that place up there in the top right corner?
I think is that Chicago?
It looked like Chicago, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what they're saying. This is what Chicago looks like. Oh, look, they're doing a aerial view.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one time they were clustered all together. And that's why I was saying, oh wow, but now they spread it out a little bit. But they're bunching back up again. See how they're crowding up right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they were earlier. It was a real big crowd of them right in that little intersection.
Well, I hope these people are going to be protesting during the parade because the parade is not going to start until 6 o'clock Eastern time. So I hope they stay out here all day and all evening. Change shifts and let another crowd come in. Because I definitely want them to protest during the parade time. Because
Yeah.
it's not going to do any good to protest now and then he get to have his parade without any interference.
No problem.
And I want them to interfere with his parade.
Look, Real Odds and Even said, I forgot you want to put them up, but it says, do y'all feel, well, it's not really saying it. It says, do y'all feel any of the protesting actually does anything? I think it does. I mean, I think it entertains Trump, but people see that that's the people. If you're going to be running for re-election, you got to get a temperature check. You are, a pulse on what the people want, and they see that this is not what the people want.
And I think it's gonna be effective, real, but I think it has to be more people. They're not mad enough yet. We need people to, and I'm not saying I want them to revolt, but you're gonna have to have more participation. It's not moving the needle with the protest. It says we have 2,100 protests going around in all 50 states, but everybody's going to have to spill out into the streets to revoke that's against this, because the numbers, the more you have in numbers, the more retaliation. The more numbers you have, the more that they're going to react. Like the senators in the House of Representatives that's voting for these bills or what have you. See, what's going to happen is if people continue to spill out in the streets, and the more people get out in the streets, um, the more objection to this crap, the more that's going to make them not vote with him. That's going to make them not implement all of these Project 2025 projects that he's trying to do. This big, beautiful bill is in jeopardy in the Senate right now. Then more than likely, they were probably trying to pass it in some type of form, right? And they see these people spilling out in the streets like this, and they see that people are not going along with this mess. That'll make them vote along with the people versus vote along with the president. Because right now, he's telling them that he has an agenda. He has a mandate. He has a mandate. The people voted him in to do this. And so eventually, it will help. But for right now, not that much. Not so much right now, because it's not enough people yet. And
I will say Los Angeles look like they are filled with people.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Los Angeles is what they consider a blue state. When the red state, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's when it really hits. When they start converting the red states.
It's gonna hit home when the red states, because they expect the blue states to do this, but when a red state like Texas, and we had people in Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, and not only in Dallas, they had about 15 cities in Dallas that was protesting. So it wasn't just Dallas itself, but you got all surrounding cities in Dallas.
Right.
And all of those places wasn't blue areas. A lot of them were Republican areas. So once the Republicans see that their job is in jeopardy, you can best believe it's going to make a difference.
Exactly.
Hey, Marjan. Hey, Marjan. Thanks for joining us today.
It's 108 degrees there in Arizona.
Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, 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 free, free Palestine.
You guys see that sign that says Congress wake up?
Yeah.
That's what's going to wake Congress up. When they see that they protesting it against them, then that's what's going to wake them up. Hey, Nanya, can you turn it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can turn the volume down, son, can you?
Actually, what I want to do is bring up another one. So,
But yeah, but turn the volume down because we can hear them a little bit so that we can do commentary because you can't really hear us doing we can't hear each other when it's up to the loudest when it's up that loud. But you saw that sign what it said, Congress wake up, and that's what's gonna move the needle with Congress when they start seeing that their jobs are in jeopardy, and when they start talking about Congress, then that's when they will move and could possibly impeach him.
Exactly.
look at the streets of downtown LA. Look at this, the whole thing. They ain't playing.
Well, LA have a lot of Mexicans in their state. California,
They
they have
look like little ants from up
you're right,
there.
right. But California do have, California and Texas probably have the biggest population of Hispanics.
Uh-huh.
California, Texas, and Florida.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. Well, I would say Florida would probably be Caribbean, but you right on the Mexicans because
yeah.
when
They they have the other Hispanic, the Caribbeans, like you said, like Cubans, El Salvadorians,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
those.
people from other places other than Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So
And really, those are the ones who actually helped put him in office because they didn't think that they were going to touch them. They thought that they were just going to get all the undocumented workers, all the undocumented people from Mexico, and Trump flipped the script on them. He's getting anybody that look brown, whether they're documented or not. They're going into Home Depots, they're going into churches, they're going into schools, daycares, in the streets, in neighborhoods,
Farms,
farms, yeah,
construction
jobs,
sites. Yeah,
yeah, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
they look like ants. These people.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. You
And
literally can't even
one of
see the
our members
street
in the
on this
chat,
little part.
and one of our members in the chat say that they want to see more Democrat congressmen and women speaking up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And even I want to see Republicans speak up. If you're not with this crap, then you need to speak up. But all of them, for whatever reason, are fearful of speaking against him because they want to keep their job. They don't really
Norma
care.
say ridiculous demon rats.
They
I
say
think she
what?
was trying to. Norma says ridiculous demon rats. I think she
Right.
talking about Democrats.
Yeah.
They have some of their ways, but
Hmm.
there's some of them that I like. I
Right.
like them over these Republicans.
Yeah, because they're go alongs to get alongs. You know.
Hmm.
right now, the Republicans just sit back with their hands in their lap, just let him do what he want to do. At least when they had it before, it was Democrats and Republicans worked together to keep,
Could you imagine if Obama was
Right.
trying to pull this shit
Or either Biden
or
or Bill
Biden?
Clinton because they demonize Bill Clinton also. Any Democratic president, they demonize those. It's not right unless a Republican is in office the way that they act. But yeah, I can just imagine if Obama did a fourth of what this dude did. Remember, they ostracized Obama because he had on a tan suit.
Right.
That
well
was the
look
big news story for a whole week because that dude had a tan suit on.
well look at how bad they did his wife because she had on a dress with no sleeves.
Right. And she made the schools uh do better. She made the schools
Look, the people can't
she
even
took
go
the junk.
straight. They
She
gotta
took the
go.
she took the junk out of school and they got upset about that, all the sugars and stuff, and they got mad at her for trying to make the kids healthy.
That part.
But they
But my
like you
thing
said,
is,
But
my
not
thing is,
JFK, Robert F. Kennedy is not he doing such a great job with trying to remove all the dyes and
oh, but he taking vaccines off the table.
yeah, yeah,
He got
he
rid of
causing stuff
all of the
like
vaccine people.
yeah, 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 right. He causing things like the measles to rehash and and start killing people.
The thing that bothers me the most of all, this is June.
Yo, that's
Halfway
where I used to work. Wait, is it? Yo, yeah, it is right there on the New York Times. I mean the LA Times building. That's where I used to work.
Oh, wow.
Right here. That's so funny.
Um, the funny thing that gets me,
And they used to be filming stuff in this little dirt, this sand thing. They
The
used to
square
have
there.
they used to have the like the black things cover tarp across and they be filming stuff up in there.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's neat. That paper, We the People, that's supposed to be the Constitution.
Yes, I know that's right.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's right, because that's
But
what he is.
and one of our subscribers said that what happened in Minnesota, I definitely believe a lot of them will wake up to what the end wake up to what end is the question. And so I don't know, subscriber, because I don't want to call you guys' name out either. But I basically feel like, this dude prepared us for this. Remember, he said that he was gonna round all these people up. He said millions and millions of people will be rounded up, and they're gonna be shipped back to Mexico, and there will be some bloodshed. So here we are. He predicted this, so he wanted this to happen. He wanted this fight. So now he's getting what he wanted. It's just not going the way that he wanted to go.
Okay, and they show the list, the statistics of how many immigrants that was shipped out. I mean, sent back to the country through Biden and Obama, and both of them had a high number. So he wanted to show people that he can outdo them. But they did it where you did it. There was no bragging about it. You
Yeah,
didn't
you
even
didn't
know.
even know. You didn't even know that people were being deported.
Right, and he's deporting these people out. But the thing is, they was getting the people that was actually they knew
Criminals, right.
that were criminals
They
or was
went
here
through due process.
right. But you just grabbing up anybody.
He
Right.
was able to deport that many people by actually going through due process.
Five,
And
I think we got 5 million. Was it 5 million, 5,000? It was quite a high number. I
a
think it was
lot,
five
right.
million.
Which
It was
one y'all
five
talking
million.
about? Y'all talking about Biden or Obama? About the
Biden.
Biden, how many people he deported?
Uh huh.
Okay. I'll find that out just a second.
Okay.
Let me see what the chat talking about.
Yeah, just don't call their names out.
Let's see. RFK Jr. is a joke and an embarrassment to his father's legacy. I agree, subscriber. Look, how we know if they subscriber?
They on the channel, they subscribed.
Oh, okay. We gonna speak it into existence. I
Yeah,
know
there you
that's
go.
right.
It
All
said
right.
in Barack Obama both terms, he removed 3 million non-citizens from the United States.
Wow. And look at how
Uh,
many look at this scene right here, y'all. Look at
And
how
it
many
says,
people right
Biden removed more than 271 immigrants in the
there.
last
271?
year, just in the last year alone.
Oh,
And it's not in this, and it's just giving you an example that he did more than Trump removed.
and see, they said Obama did that with both his terms. During his two terms, he got rid. He's got deported 3 million non-citizens.
Under Biden watch, he had 8 million people removed.
wow.
And see, they said, see, they let you think that he ain't do. Neither one of them had did anything. Just let the people come over, but it's not. They sent them back, but they did it. They did it respectfully and not go out here and brag about it.
Well,
This is
lawfully, they did it lawfully
lawfully.
also.
Right, and this is a chaos. This is a mess.
Well, the whole administration is chaotic. The whole administration, anything you do, like the Lincoln Project says, anything Trump touches turns to crap, and he didn't use crap.
That
That's
part.
funny.
So um, try to go to one of the southern states. Let's go to one of the southern states and see what
Like
they're doing.
Louisiana,
No, like you didn't see anything in Houston.
Florida.
You didn't see anything. Yeah, let's see what Florida doing, or Texas, or
Y'all,
Iowa.
oh my God. Hold on. Before we go there, let me just show y'all this chat is going bananas. Oh, never mind. All right.
Okay. Go to WCNC. That's Charlotte, North Carolina. The channel is WCNC, Charlotte.
The channel name is WCNC.
Yeah, WC like in Charlie NC.
It don't show that they're on live, but maybe if I click on it. Yeah, I don't see that they're on live.
Mine do.
You may have to just go to the channel itself instead of the live feed. Up on the live feed.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's the channel.
See?
You don't see it?
I could refresh.
Okay. Let me see. Can I share? Okay. You see the crowd up there in the top right box?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I see it.
It's spinning right now. I don't know why it's spinning. Oh, there you go.
At our nation's capital later on this afternoon. Folks around the country with over 1,400.
What happened?
I don't know. It's clocking.
Okay.
Speaker on stage at the Charlotte event for No Kings. Live Impact News and WCNC Plus.
Foundational values, and because in the United States, the power still belongs to us. So I'll close with a quick story. Last week, my wife and I were up near Cherokee, North Carolina. Who's from Western North Carolina? Anybody come from Western North Carolina? What a beautiful part of our state. Still recovering from Helene, but as beautiful as I could have ever imagined.
Look at that crowd over in the
And I
top
wanted
right
to cook
corner.
shrimp and grits our last night there, and I forgot to bring some flour. So I took my measuring cup, and I went to some nearby campsites. And I ended up meeting 3 different groups who I'd never met before. And each one of those sets of campers,
It's something to do.
those families greeted me and welcomed me with warmth and kindness.
Okay, Minion, you can't pull this up on your internet?
Did she send me the link?
Okay. Excuse me.
Oh,
She
I'm
can
sorry.
put it in the private chat. Just put
And
it
I
in the
found
private
the
chat.
flour that I needed
I
for my
am.
recipe.
I was,
Get ready to send it to the
Yeah,
private.
Mr. Producer, can you calm down? I understand this is upsetting you.
I ain't mean for it to come out so aggressively.
Okay. Now it's in the private chat, Mr. Producer.
She said, Mr.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Now I'm gonna need my team to stay together because we in this together, guys. Don't let this get you guys upset. Okay.
Oh, that's all right. All I have to do is go get my belt for him. That's all I have
Okay.
to do.
Yeah, we're in this together.
I was not trying to come off.
Well, you did, dog. You did.
Y'all need to get out y'all feelings. That's what that is.
Okay. I said
No,
what
I'm
I
joking.
say. You get them high, I get them low.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready?
We're saying
But this is this ain't live, is it?
Yeah, this is live, Charlotte, North Carolina.
No, it's not live. It's that's the pre-record.
No, that was live. Now,
Okay,
where's live?
let me
Minion,
see.
did you have your Wheaties this morning, sweetie? Well,
No,
it say
Yeah,
at 11:36 this morning though, Fox.
it's like 5 minutes and 21 seconds.
it said live up there in the corner. That's why I pulled it up.
Yeah, but they pre-recorded it and it was live when they recorded it. But yeah, it's not actually live.
As they're planning.
Well, that's where I was from, y'all.
Real shot, the drone picture of First Ward Park. Thousands of people gathered there for today's No Kings event. And what they're saying really is just putting up their own statement up against the Trump administration, saying that on today, Flag Day, President Trump's birthday, as they're planning a military parade and celebration at our nation's capital later on this afternoon. Folks around the country with over 1,400 of these No Kings events that they're saying that there are no kings, there are no emperors, and what they are saying that the Trump administration is. So let's go back now to Uptown. We'll listen in here live. It looks like we have another speaker on stage at the Charlotte event for No Kings on Live Impact News on WCNC+.
Nationalism were foundational values. And because in the United States, the power still belongs to us. So I'll close with a quick story. Last week, my wife and I were up near Cherokee, North Carolina. Who's from Western North Carolina? Anybody come from Western North Carolina? What a beautiful part of our state. Still recovering from Helene, but as beautiful as I could have ever imagined, okay? And I wanted to cook shrimp and grits our last night there, and I forgot to bring some flour. So I took my measuring cup, and I went to some nearby campsites. And I ended up meeting 3 different groups who I'd never met before. And each one of those sets of campers, those families, greeted me and welcomed me with warmth and kindness. And I found the flour that I needed for my recipe. But I was also reminded of something. And that is that this country is full of good people. Our country is full of people just like you who care about the values of our nation. And so I want to thank you for being here. This rally, this march, this is what civic duty looks like. This is what love of country looks like. So I've already kind of told you my conclusion. I want to encourage you after today to not stop. Go tell your story. Find out the story of your neighbors. Meet.
You know, he is such a big ass grifter, President Trump. The fact that he couldn't ever have this type of birthday party on his own dime, he had to use the taxpayer dollars so that he could celebrate his own birthday.
And you know he's still sending people emails, and I sent you a link to New York too. That's live feed right now, 2 million. Whenever you, in the private chat, but yeah, he's still sending, what you call it, like to the email people, to his email list. He's still sending money. He's still raising money as if he's running for president to his supporters on his.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
You didn't mean to do what?
I had to take you off the screen.
Oh, it's okay. Like you said, it's impromptu.
You know, I just looked it up. It says there's supposed to be 6,600 soldiers, 150 military vehicles, and a range of aircrafts are scheduled to form the grand military parade. We're
Now
going
it's
to have
at 33,
aircraft,
which is pretty.
and it's going to cost between 25 million to 45 million for this parade.
Now this is
No.
New York. Is this Los Angeles or New York?
That's
or
New
Chicago?
York.
This New York.
Chicago and Los Angeles. Well, I guess they switched the
They switched the
view.
screen. Yeah.
Hmm.
Think about that. How 25 million to 45 million in cars.
Look at all them cars parked to be in the protest.
Yes, all up and down the beach.
I know that's right.
I know they chance. I mean, what you call it?
Now, where is this? Is this still LA or is this New York? This boy New York.
Can't see the building.
Okay. Also, when you finish this one, I sent you one from Seattle.
Alice said, I mean, subscriber said Grifter and Chief.
Right. Um. So Minion. So continue to check the private chat because I'm looking for other
Feeds.
ones. I just sent you one from Seattle, and they got a few people there too in Oregon. So people not playing with him. They are not playing with him at all. So far, it looked like LA has the biggest crowd.
Uh-huh.
And when you're looking through the feeds, it's all about LA. I
Uh-huh.
don't know why they keep focusing on LA, but okay, whatever.
Well, LA has the military there too, so remember.
Texas do too.
LA had the most. They was the one first one hit. They was the first one. They sent the military out there. My thing is, you got 4,000 military Marines out there, and they're only there to protect federal government buildings.
And just imagine all the training
That's
that they probably had to go through just to do that.
And they
Just to
said they're
set up.
not even trained to mess with the military is not even trained to mess with civilians. They're
they are
trained. They're trained to
for
unalive
combat.
people in the military, not civilians. And so it's going to be some mistakes made because their wording is totally different. Than what what the police departments use.
Well, what they said was um, the Marines and the National Guard, they are instructed by the general to only guard the government buildings. They are not to
Right.
interact with the civilians. So you got 4,000 Marines there to guard how many buildings? It's more federal government buildings in DC than it is in Los Angeles.
All right. It's all a spectacle. Man, you look at this chat. Look at the one I put in the private chat. Check this out. See, I know you keep going from screen to screen, but check out what they
I got
did.
it up. I'm trying to
Oh, okay. I thought that was so cute.
I'm gonna have to
Well,
let's see.
not cute, but fascinating. Um, the way that they did this.
Right. Let's see.
You're absolutely right, Alice. What the Orange Man is doing in LA is illegal. It's
Yep,
very
Foxy, try not to call people name out.
illegal.
Yeah, because we don't know who listening and what have you, so we're not trying to. Uh,
So it's illegal. It's very illegal. And
check that out. Check that out.
all right, I like that.
Check that
I
out. Check
like
it
that.
out.
I like that. I wish I could take a, like
You
cut
can
it.
screenshot it. You can screenshot it on your computer.
But I was like, I was sitting back going, man, this is illegal. And you got 4,000, it says 4,400 Marines in Los Angeles alone. That's
Yeah,
not the other,
yeah,
not even.
that's in San Francisco. Subscriber. The way that they did that, she said she loved that. But yeah, you got 4,000 Marines there, and you don't even have but what, maybe 15 to 20 buildings in California that's government.
Federal government in that one city. They only have maybe, like you said, that many in per city, and some of them don't even have that many. So why are you going to have that many Marines and Army? Because they really can't interact. That's all they doing is standing around, and a lot of them are in buildings just sitting back, wait, just sitting back because they
They
can't.
showed them. They showed them playing Uno cards the other day.
Yeah, because they can't do anything. They can't interact with civilians.
But baby, let me tell you something. They are getting this together. For them to come up with this sign, they are really coming together and they are coordinating this to a T.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And they all they doing is just sitting around. Um, a lot of the Marines are sitting around in the government buildings, like you said, doing Uno, playing spades or whatever, because they can't legally interact with civilians.
It's all it's for bullying and it's for bullying tactics. It's to make the people fearful. They, in America, to me, the police force, and the way he's trying to use this military, it's all fear tactics. It's to intimidate everybody, and the local police are great at intimidating people. Look at Rotten Hinton Jr. when he unalived that cop, and all those cops was in court with him. That was for intimidation purposes. In Texas, they do that all the time. Sometimes you'll see them, and I know Minion know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes they'll have one car pulled over. I remember when I was in the Metroplex, they had this one lady pulled over, and it was 10 cops on the side of the road for this one little lady, and she was she was Hispanic, and she had her child with her. Like, why do y'all have 10 cops for one little lady?
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense. And a lot of it is just a
They
form
try
of
to
intimidation.
intimidate. Yeah, that's what they do. Um, but this is just another level, though. This ain't. I mean, this is some Russia, Kim Jong Un.
No, 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 or whoever else.
Third world country crap is what he's pulling. These
Right.
are third world antics. Is exactly what he's pulling. And like I said, it's all for intimidation and it's all for showmanship. And
No, it's not for intimidation. I feel like it's for intimidation to let. Well, I feel like it's basically let you know what's gonna happen if you go against him.
yeah,
Exactly. And um, you know, kind of what's going on now is basically, like Harvey, look, and Flint. Whoever's in charge is using the police as weapons towards the people. Ooh, look at that crowd. Ooh.
now this is not a live feed, but this is a view of what St. Louis was doing.
Okay.
Is it St. Louis or Louisville?
Well,
Let
let
me
me
see.
pull up because I don't see any live feeds of Houston either. But
Yeah, this is Louisville, Kentucky, I guess. Yeah, Kentucky. Now, see, Kentucky is a southern state, and that's what I'm talking about. When you get these southern states involved, and they're
that's when
not,
it starts
and that's when it started
to
moving the
hit
needle.
home, right?
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
when it started hitting home because the blue states are already demonetized by him and Fox News, and they already try to give us a stigma, what have you, and so when the southern
Oh,
states
look.
start protesting, it's
Look
a
at
different story.
protests in North Texas.
Okay.
Let me pull it. Let me go ahead and put that up on the screen. It's live. This one is live.
Are we gonna be here for a sec? Okay. I'll go edit my pack. I'll go edit my.
So North Texas, this got to be Dallas. This say Chicago.
What's your for you today? Flag something up and head home? I'm just feeding the trunk here. Oh, nice.
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
This is, you know, WFAA is in Chicago
Oh,
and
wait,
in
wait.
Dallas. They just provide the news, Chicago news.
I'm good right now.
Hold on. Which one is it? Right here. Oh, but it says, look.
It's Chicago.
It says No Kings protest. Look at the protests across North Texas. Oh, and the nation. So it says
Yeah,
and the
I
nation.
say in the nation, yeah. But WFAA is in Dallas and in Chicago.
So, oh look, this is West Palm, Florida. This ain't live, but this is.
I wonder how many of the protesters went through that crazy sheriff's hometown. How many did they unalive today so far?
I don't think he. I think
Hearing
after
from
he
folks there, but again,
did it, I think he probably
people, as far
realized
as the
that
eyes can see, if I had to guess,
he ain't
I'd
gonna
say
be able to.
several hundred people have shown up here today. High energy, and they feel strongly that they had to be here today. But for now, I'll send it back to you, Mark. I'm Adriana Dalba, live in Arlington.
Yeah, thank you, Adriana. And I know that these
Okay,
protests
that's in
were planned
Arlington.
quite a while ago, several months ago. In fact, as soon as we knew that the president had planned to have the military parade in Washington, D.C., I heard one of the organizing calls the other day, and they made a concerted effort to really encourage
And that's
everybody
Arlington,
showing
Texas,
up
not
to stay
Virginia.
safe and to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here go Miami.
Of the Trump administration plan when it comes to immigration.
And back here in LA, police say they're getting ready for this weekend with
Pennsylvania.
But baby, they making sure LA is the focus of all of this.
That look like a lot of people in Pennsylvania, though. Look.
Yeah, I saw that.
The fact that this is happening all over the country and there's protests that look like this all over the country.
It's great. We the people.
And
Well,
everybody is out there protesting, not just one color, not just,
hmm
it's probably Republicans, Democrats out there. Everybody's out there.
hmm
Yeah. Marjon said, was telling Alice, I don't understand how that it's even possible to have a felon in the White House and not be able to vote legally in the United States.
hmm Well, Foxy, try to remember to say our subscribers, because once again,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we
Definitely
don't
not there
want
now. He
these
was pretty
names
stern
called
about the
out.
response.
We don't need them to be retaliating against us either.
Dallas City Hall Plaza.
Dallas ain't got that many people.
Maybe from this angle.
Maybe they'll show us a different angle. But that ain't that many people. It's a lot of people in Dallas, and that ain't even that ain't that ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's not a lot of people. They should be covering this whole lawn.
Right. There's more people in East Dallas. That ain't even one street in East Dallas or West Dallas.
I
Well, I
wonder what
mean,
the
it
crowd
is
is like in
Texas,
San
so,
Antonio.
and Dallas is probably the most conservative city in the damn state.
Now Fort Worth is. Dallas is more Democratic, and Fort Worth is more Republican.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I be looking at them like the same thing, though.
No, they're definitely not the same thing. Trust me when I tell
I
you
know
that.
they have a rival with each other.
See, that's not that many people there. That is not that many people, and they just
That
at the
is
City Hall
very.
Plaza. And the City Hall Plaza is not that big of a square.
That's very, very.
Very low. They got more people on Northwest Highway walking the streets trying to sell whatever. we we can go down Harry Hines Boulevard and see most Hispanics.
Most streetwalkers than that.
You can see most streetwalkers on Harry Hines than this on that's at this protest. But in their defense, it may be very hot in Dallas, because Dallas heat ain't no joke.
But no, because you could tell if it's hot or not. It looked like it's kind of cloudy out there.
Oh, okay.
It's looking a little cloudy to me.
Don't try to take up phone. That's not gonna work.
Look, that pavement look a little wet. It look a little moist to me too. So I think it's probably already had.
Let me check the weather and see what's going on in Dallas. I'm trying to give y'all an excuse.
God tried to cool them down.
Listen, they had more cops when they were protesting against the cops. They had more people out there for that
than what we see right here.
Right, that ain't nothing. That can't even fill up one of the malls in Dallas.
That's a slow day in the mall, in the food court.
Right, that part. Okay, come on, Dallas. Come on down. Now, it's only 92 degrees in Dallas.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And
it's cloudy. And it's mostly cloudy. They got a little wind at 5 miles an hour. So.
You see?
Yeah.
God made them conditions good for them to get their asses out.
They ain't doing their job, mean.
They ain't on their job.
You so stupid. We're gonna need y'all to do better.
But look at me talking from my from the desk. Right.
Yeah. Right. And everybody, don't forget to hit the like button on all 3 channels on Minion with Opinion, Foxy 2, Roxy 3, and I Said What I Said. You guys, if you're in the bushes, please hit the like button. And subscribe to the channels if you haven't subscribed yet. Consider, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but consider subscribing to the channels. Especially if you like politics, because that's what OTR is about. We're trying to highlight the politics around locally and nationally. But yeah, I'm gonna need them to do better. Look like Arlington got more people than Dallas, and Arlington is smaller. But y'all see who out there in Arlington though? Those are not Hispanic people.
Oh.
That is not mostly Hispanic people. Those are Caucasian people in Arlington that's protesting.
That's good.
It's real good. And that's what we need more of. We need more, not us, y'all stay, us when you stay at home, because this ain't, we need to just help them organize the protest, but we don't need to get out there, because that's really what he want. He want us out there. Because
hey, y'all, just to kind of piggyback off of what you said prior before you go into this thought.
Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button.
Okay.
Okay.
Not her. Okay.
Right.
Look, you done messed up my train of thought.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like he's targeting the Hispanic people, but he's also targeting Black people, also African Americans. He's targeting us too. That's why he's removing all this DEI everywhere, trying to erase our Black history. And so, we next on the list. So keep that in mind, everybody. And since we're next on the list, and he already know that we're not really for him. He already know that at least the Hispanic people, a certain percentage of them voted for him. He only probably got about 8 to 17% of the Black people that voted for him. So he understand, he's the minority and not the majority when it comes to us. But it's like they can't wait for us to come out into the streets so that they can retaliate.
Well, to that also, to what Trump is doing, and I know you're saying that he also wants the Black people to come out because that's going to give him You
Yeah,
know, but I think it's gonna happen regardless, with or without the black people getting involved. So
yeah,
I feel like you're right in terms of just stay out of it and let
right. Well,
and
you can
just
organize behind the scenes.
I was just about to say, and be smart and
Yeah,
strategic.
with the way that you help. I'm not saying that you have to stay all the way out of the fight. Just don't march in the streets.
Mm-hmm. Right, because they not gonna, you know, at least if the people that look like him are out in the streets, he'll be less amped to go
Hmm.
out and you know, just run amok and shoot people, and you know. So that's good to have them out there. But like I said, you know, that doesn't mean our fight is over or we don't have anything that we need to do. We still got stuff to do too, because look at this clip. I hope it don't give us copyright, but I'm gonna play it anyway because I
Oh
saw
God.
somebody else play it. This is a
Oh
clip from
God.
TikTok.
Trump is building a database to spy on every single American, and he tapped Palantir to do it, a CIA-funded tech company co-founded by tech billionaire and Republican donor Peter Thiel. In 2010, Thiel shared his real motivations out loud.
We could never win an election because we were in such a small minority, but maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means.
Thiel knows his ideology could never win an
Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that clip. I think I played it on our video at some point, or my live, but he's trying to get all of our information,
Hmm.
you know.
To do what with? Like, why is our information so important to them? What are they trying to do? Why are they trying to obtain all of our information? I don't understand. Make it make sense. What's the significance in it? They gonna come to everybody's house, or what they gonna do?
So I'm thinking, of course, they could do so much with it, of course. But one of the things that they could do is bypass the voting structure. They could just
Take you off the voter rolls, because that's what Texas did. Texas tried to remove, over 300,000 people off of the voter rolls. So they are doing that.
or they could go in and alter your vote after you make it.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of that happened this voting cycle. I don't have any proof, allegedly, but I feel like that's exactly what they did. Hey,
Mhm.
subscriber, thanks for joining in my chat. I appreciate that. I'm not calling out names because this is a very hypersensitive subject. So I don't want anybody targeted. And so I'm not calling you guys names out
You know
for
what?
that
Since you
reason
said
only.
that, I think I'm gonna have to change my appearance. I'm gonna go ahead and change my appearance up.
What you mean change your, you know I change your clothes? Or take your
No.
avatar down?
Uh, can you
Uh,
see me?
oh my God. So now you're anonymous.
I'm anonymous.
Oh my
Ooh,
gracious.
y'all not
you,
gonna get me caught up.
you play way too much. Way too much. Y'all pay Minion no mind at all. He's the tech guru on this platform, and if he may change clothes. Who knows? He may become a dog or anything. You never know what Minion is gonna do with animes.
Oh Lord.
But he play way too much. Let me just put it like that. Like these people can tell what his appearance is with this
Yeah,
avatar.
yeah,
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 make that make sense.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
already hiding behind the
Yeah,
avatar.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're already in cartoon form,
right.
and now they're gonna figure you out in cartoon form.
Y'all
Okay.
not gonna get me caught up. Let me go.
But that's why I keep interjecting. Don't call anybody name out in the chat. Don't do that. I don't want anybody name called out in the chat, and we don't need anybody targeted. And I'll get right back with you guys.
Uh-oh. I hope you ain't gotta go to the school for none of your kids or nothing. But
It's no school today. Today is Saturday, sir.
oh, Saturday. Okay. Why y'all keep saying Saturday wrong? All right. Let's see what the audio sounded like. Yeah. No kings. Oh, they ain't got no audio. So Foxy, you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I'm just listening to y'all, watching it, looking at these people,
Okay. Let me switch our view. Maybe we can
just
find
looking at all these people out there in those s- American streets.
in these American streets. LA ain't playing though.
No,
Downtown
LA
LA.
ain't playing. And the thing is, they said some of the people are from, uh, different parts of California. Some of them are from Washington and Oregon. And you got, what is it? Is it Utah connected to California? What state is
Um,
on the border of California? Utah or Idaho?
Geography wasn't one of my strong points.
Now, where is? Oh, okay, this is still L.A. Yeah, they hyper focused on L.A. though. They really want to make L.A. the villain state because Gavin Newsom been fighting with them all week, protesting against them.
Well, I tell you what, this is what all these protests should be looking like.
Exactly, because that miss in Dallas, baby, I'm shamed. Don't even show them no more. I am shamed. Come on, Texas, y'all need to do better than that. Did you see anything in San Antonio?
Let me go check. Oh, it's real bleak out here, wherever this is. I don't even know where I'm
I
looking at
want,
now.
and I wonder why El Paso is
Seattle.
not marching, and I guess because El Paso is so close to the border. Like in El Paso, the border is probably about 5 or 10 miles from El Paso. So I want I'm gonna look up El Paso and see if they're doing anything in El Paso because that's one place I haven't heard them say anything about, and that's where the majority of the Hispanics are. Is it El Paso is the most of the city. I'm pretty sure it's 95% Hispanic and 5% of others. And I haven't looked up the research. I'm just looking at the demographics and just kind of
Just
knowing
being
the
a
history.
racist. That's it. No, I'm joking.
What about San Antonio? Okay, welcome back, Justin. I was keeping an eye on chat. Thank you. While you was gone.
Minion, you gonna stop playing.
You know, I'm just playing. Yeah, don't take me serious.
What about San Antonio? I said what I said.
I'm looking right now for El Paso. El Paso. Say,
El
cabrón.
Paso, El Paso. I'm gonna be looking up San
Say your
Antonio.
homes. Where's the El
Yeah,
Paso?
Alice laughing. Alice is laughing.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh, look, they got Dallas, Fort Worth, and Denton, and more. Okay, so a lot of this ain't live no more. It's recorded. They done got all the good footage.
Y'all heard that? It ain't live no more. Boy, that Texas accent really came out, didn't it?
Look,
While you try to talk about beat. Um, San
Exactly.
Antonio, yeah, San Antonio is not live feed either, but I'll still share it so you guys can see what was going on there. And this was probably about an hour ago. Well, you know what, me? We got some live feed. Oh, that's just it's Austin, um, but it's not really showing anything. Like I said, everybody's hyper focused on everybody hyper focused on LA. Like all of the news channels are showing LA. And I don't know why I'm getting commercials because I have premium. So what's up with that?
you must be doing something that probably is gonna be a copyright issue because
That's
all
that's
these
why I'm
news channels.
that's why I'm getting premium. That's why I'm getting well now I'm just looking it up on YouTube and it shouldn't be commercials for me.
Yeah,
But
this the parade. Them getting ready for the parade. Do you see this? Do you see the two
uh-huh. The two flags with the 13 colonies on there.
right
The
here?
Confederate flags is what they're showing.
Hmm
Yeah, I'm taking notice. But I put it in the chat for San Antonio. It's only 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Oh
That
my
flag right
God!
there.
Wow.
And that flag right there is the one they got in the corner of
The state
remember I tell
building
you,
on the
no,
government page.
The government website, yeah.
yeah, the
Hmm.
government website, the USA.gov in the top right corner, left corner. They have this
But
same
how
flag.
ironic, and they got a black man speaking. Okay,
Whatever.
right. But he's a general. He has to speak. But yeah,
And
he's letting you know what he represents. That's the first 13 colonies in the United States. So forget everybody else.
the rest of y'all didn't matter.
Um,
Well, we matter because I'm pretty sure Texas is in him with that.
Well,
I'm sure.
that was 13 colonies and 13 states at the time. That was all the East Coast.
Oh, that was all the East Coast.
Uh-huh. That's what they're
Town of the
supposed to be.
protests that are
Can y'all hear
happening right
that?
now around
Uh-huh.
City
Yeah.
Hall. It started around 7 o'clock, been going on for about 90 minutes now. The crowd has grown to a few hundred strong with protesters there. They're protesting anti-ICE operations. It started, of course, when it flared up in L.A. and has since spread to other major cities across the U.S., including right here in San Antonio. You're looking right now from a rooftop shot at some of the protesters right there with signs in hand. You can also see lots of law enforcement there. Earlier tonight, we took a look at the Alamo, which was closed early tonight at 5 o'clock. State troopers were present out there, some 30 of them, to make sure that nobody breached that area. Right now, law enforcement has been taking a hands-off approach, letting the marchers go around City Hall unobstructed without having anybody really interfere with it. It has been peaceful throughout the evening so far, at least for the last 90 minutes right now. You're looking live right now as the protesters are there. They've been holding signs. They've been chanting "Down, down with deportation." People have been cheering for the protesters if they were walking along the streets. We saw that in some of the video. They're also holding signs on the scene that say "Stop separating families," "End fascism." Lots of profanity about ICE and raids. Once again, police are on the scene, but staying at a distance, allowing people to exercise their First Amendment rights. The police chief said they'll continue to do that throughout the evening, but if things were to turn violent, they would step in as necessary, but that has not been the case. Again, just a few hundred strong right there. This is a city of 1.5 million, so relatively small protest tonight against ICE. We'll have the very latest tonight on Fox News at 9.
Why is it so biased? Why are you just showing us 5 people? If you said it's a few hundred people there, why are you showing us 5 people? And see, that's the problem I have with the news. They never really want to show you the whole story of everything.
Right.
That's what gets me upset. Hey, subscriber that just entered my chat. I'm not calling you guys names out for a reason, okay? Because I don't want you guys targeted. But at the end of the day, like, see, this is the problem I have with the news. If you got a few hundred people, why are we just seeing 20 of them? Why you don't show us a whole view of everybody?
That part.
To make it, you want to make it look like it's nothing, when it really is. It's a little bit.
They don't want to upset Trump. He got his
Yeah.
this is his birthday. They don't want to, they want to downplay it
Aw.
for him, and they want to make it seem like everything is all good. Don't
Well,
worry, we got this.
I hope he changes catheter on his birthday so he won't be smelling.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh,
Well,
did she say? I see you, Minion. You're not on point. You're supposed to be making some of your noise.
oh yeah. Look, that's what we got to do. Oh no.
No, that's not. Yeah, that one.
All right. Okay, y'all. That's when y'all supposed to be laughing if y'all watching. I hope y'all laughing. All right. Hello? I said what I said.
I want to show this feed right here because it looked like this was last night, and it looked like it's a little commotion going on. This was in New York, and I'm gonna look up Florida also because one of my subscribers said that things are going on in Florida also. So I want to look that up.
Are you sending me the link?
I already sent it, sir.
Oh, I was making sure that was the newest one.
Yeah, that's the newest link that I just sent. Yeah, I just sent that one.
You see how they be just ready to
Now this was 3 days ago.
yeah.
They said this was 3 days ago. This is what's going on in New York. 3 days ago.
Look, I had put our background music in while that thing was playing because it had that music. I didn't know if it was going to end up being like, issue. Oh, oh. Dang, did he just hit his head? Wow.
Yes.
And this
Oh,
is
you
what he's
didn't see the
looking
one
for.
earlier.
This is what he's looking for across America. This is the way he want everybody to act.
And this is, you haven't seen the one that was running over this guy with the horses. They had him on the ground and kept letting the horses hit him. And they were hitting him with the baton
Oh.
too.
See, this is what Trump wants. This is what he like.
Yeah, this is exactly what he's
This is what
looking
he
for.
probably go to sleep watching at night.
And just laughing,
Uh-huh.
eating popcorn.
Eating Taco Bell and McDonald's.
Yeah.
No, you remember he eat McDonald's. He don't eat the fancy stuff. He eat McDonald's.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Look at them. They kicking and fighting.
Ooh.
Ooh. Body slamming folks. You see how
Why
you
did he
push her
body
down?
slam him? After that man just kicked the damn trash, he kicked it, and now he got body slammed?
Right. It's like this is what they want. They
What's
want
that?
this. This is what they're looking for.
Hold on, y'all. Do y'all hear that?
Hear
I must
what?
got another video playing in the background.
We don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything.
Where is that coming from?
They don't tell them what you doing.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, while Minion messed with the technical difficulties,
Please stand by.
yeah, stand by, guys. But this is exactly what Trump
Oh, there you
wants.
go. Whew.
Yeah, this is what he's want. He's looking
Got
for
it.
this. This is what he want us to do all across the country, and it's not happening. People are, for the most part, they're doing peaceful protests, and we expect this from New York because New York is rowdy anyway, regardless whether you're having a protest or not. And there's no shade towards New York, but I expect New York to get rowdy with him because that's what New Yorkers do. They don't take anything from anybody. So, and their cops, the cops are out of control. All the way out of control, body slamming that lady to the ground for no reason.
Right. I gotta see if I can get Trump to I'm gonna tell Trump he need to do us a little video for our channel.
No, we don't need that. I just sent you another video when you finish playing this one. But finish playing this one and let us see. Can we finish with this one?
Yeah. I found the culprit to where the sound was coming from.
Okay.
All right, let me. Oh. Well, see, these people should be peaceful. They don't need to. They can use their words and their mouths, but they don't need to be throwing trash cans and shit.
Well, see, the thing is, they were peaceful. The police started coming in, shoving them and hitting them and stuff. So they got angry, and it's just went out of control.
Well, I guess they probably did provoke it.
They did.
Yeah, they did. They provoked it.
Because when they
And
first got there,
it says that they started shooting rubber bullets at them also.
yeah, because remember I told you the reporter got shot with a rubber bullet while she was reporting? And there was
Mm-hmm.
another reporter. They showed him. And this guy, he was he was going down the ramp at the building, and he was asking him a question. He was a news reporter, and he was asking him a question. What was his badge number? Name and badge number, because he kept threatening him. So he turned around. He said, "If you don't leave and stop asking me that question, I'm gonna shoot you." And he literally shot him point blank with a rubber bullet from the gun. And he wasn't even near him enough for him to even shoot him. He didn't even do nothing but ask him a question. See him
Oh, look,
shoot?
they just shooting. That's
Yeah.
all they do is just shooting.
Yeah.
No aim, just shooting.
Yeah. So anybody getting hit.
Peaceful or not.
Right.
And you gonna shoot people because they throwing trash cans? They not throwing them at y'all. They just throwing them in the street. That's a ticket, ain't it?
That's
There's no
all.
cause. There's no cause to shoot nobody.
That's a misdemeanor. See?
Look.
See? Look.
These officers get off to that.
Yeah. Well, that's
They
the
like
National
being
Guard
able to-
there, ain't it? Or is that ICE?
ICE.
They
The
like
National
being
Guard-
able to shoot
because the National
whoever they
Guard,
want.
the National Guard and the Army and the Marines all have weapons with actual bullets.
And look how he walking, like he beating bad.
You know, with natural bullets. See, that's police.
It's probably a whole bunch of different law enforcement organizations over there.
The military have actual. From what I was told, that none of their guns are loaded. There are if they're on the street, they do not have any of their weapons loaded.
Okay, so they say they tear gassing them.
Yep, tear gassing them and shooting with rubber bullets.
Wow, look at that thing of tear gas just on the corner.
So those people sitting down at the table just chilling. You see them people sitting at the tables chilling.
But that means the tear gas is in the air?
Yeah.
Wow.
They can't even get on the sidewalk. You told them to get off the sidewalk?
Together. Where did y'all come from, bro? That's wonky.
Disgusting. You disgust me.
You're tough, right? You're tough? Traitor!
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Traitors! All of you!
Well, you guys come this way. This whole group has to get on the sidewalk and you're all under arrest. Let's go.
I mean, if they don't get on the sidewalk, they're all arrested.
They wish they could be at a college campus kids instead. Kill yourself! Fuck you, you fucking pig! Go to hell!
Clarification, just smoke bombs.
You fucking larpers! Why are you hiding your faces? Uncover your faces! You Gestapo piece of shit! Uncover your face!
Oh, my Gestapo.
You look like you play airsoft, you fat fuck!
They said you fat.
They call them Gestapos.
Three officers injured, at least 10 people arrested in Los Angeles.
O'clock, and you
Last
see
night.
there some kind of dumpster, some kind of container that they were successful in being able to set
Oh, when was
ablaze. We
this?
should also point out that we watched as 5 Waymo cars. Whoa.
Oh, 5
Okay, so
days
now
ago.
we're doing donuts
In reverse.
in the intersection.
In reverse, and someone throwing rocks. Okay, what's going on there? That looks very strange.
What the hell?
The car is out of control.
I don't know what to make of this. This seems so very dangerous. Obviously, these people throwing the rocks are not happy with that person there. I don't know if they felt this person was endangering them. This is a very bizarre scene there, and why that person would do those donuts like that in reverse. Was that person trying to send a statement and, oh, wow.
Yeah, what's
Wow.
going on? He seems to be
who is
having
this
trouble
person?
controlling that car, or he's driving erratically on purpose. I think that whomever threw
What the
rocks
hell?
or whatever it was, yeah, he's having trouble controlling that car. Oh, or has decided to go past the those barricades there. This is basically the Alvera Street area, the plaza.
Wait,
I'm just
what
wondering
is
where
going
traffic
on?
typically would go.
Susan, was this person trying to hurt or endanger those that were in the streets there?
I feel like the people in that intersection or near that intersection felt as if, yeah, that this was somebody that was
not one of them.
No.
Look at the way this person's driving on the sidewalk. Oh my gosh, this is very scary here. LAPD, FYI, something's going on here with this driver who is that a
What the
sidewalk he's
hell?
driving on?
Well, that's a part of that plaza area of Alvera
right,
Street,
right.
not far from the Chinese Museum, and it's
Oh,
clearly
my
not
God.
set up for traffic. It was at one point, but now you have all of those balustrades or whatever they're called, the barriers that keep you from driving exactly where he's driving now. And if you've ever been there in an afternoon, oftentimes there will be people that are playing music and dancing. He's going at a pretty high rate of speed,
That is
too.
way too fast on a city street where there are people and bicycles of all sorts, whether you're with these demonstrations or not. It makes me wonder who this person is and what statement they're trying to make.
They
Are
had to
trying
run because they thought he was about to
agitate
run.
the people that are out there on the streets?
What the
at this
hell
hour?
has he
Look
got
at the way
going
that
on?
driver is driving. Is this somebody on drugs? Are they drunk?
Now he's
Who
going
does
in
that?
reverse.
Who drives in reverse like that in the middle of other traffic,
Damn.
endangering innocent people? That's a scary situation in its own right.
Oh, he's out of the car now. He's decided to abandon that vehicle. And what? He's got a hold of a dumpster trying to move it, but unsuccessful. So now he's going to get back in the car. And by the way, I think I saw some shattered glass. I think that the agitators were able to throw a piece of concrete or what have you at him, and he was able broke through the window because then he was throwing things back out again.
Look at the way that driver is driving. That is a very scary scene. It's almost like
Yeah, I'm
this
talking about the
person
people. Look
is
what this driver
a
is
rogue
doing.
person
Right.
who is out of his mind. And look at the
And
crowd.
everybody's coming
Oh, wow.
towards him because he's stuck. He's stuck
Wow.
there. Now he's going to do things quite illegally to get out of the way. But it's clear that he was trying to go after the agitators or whomever is left over in the downtown area. And look at that. People are throwing things at him. So apparently the sentiment was, okay, you're not
I
with
think
us.
he was trying to
Therefore,
hit
you're
them.
against us.
Well,
I think he was
the
trying to-
guy was doing donuts in reverse. You could kill anybody like that.
I think
He's
he
been
was trying to.
driving, it
I think
seems
he was
be
trying to hit the crowd.
Very erratic.
Oh
way.
my
Makes you
gosh!
wonder,
Look at him.
what the
He's still
mindset
coming
is of
around.
This person, is it someone who just lost their mind? They just don't care who they hurt. They're trying to make a
He
statement.
already
or
wrecked
what?
the
But
van
this
in the
is
front, on the
something that
driver's
I'm
side.
surprised that we don't have
Driver's
a police
side panel.
chopper over this one as
Front
in a
panel.
pursuit of some
Yeah.
sort, because this behavior was very, very erratic.
Erratic. He was able to outrun, or thanks to the fact that he's in a vehicle and the other
Oh,
guy
now he's
on
backing up
foot.
again.
Oh,
Yeah.
To get out of that
Lord.
traffic. So he's decided to back up. And let's see what he's going to do now.
He ain't
Now
got
we're
no lights
basically,
on.
I believe, in the Union
Oh,
stationary,
Lord.
going through Union Station, going through intersections.
He really could
or
have been
stop
hitting
signs.
people,
Stop
so
sign.
Yeah, that's why he was trying to hit people. That's why he was doing the donut.
but he could have hit them
So
if he really wanted
sideswiped
to.
a bicyclist.
Right.
Oh, is that what happened? Is that we're talking to our booth right now? That's what, so he sideswiped a bicyclist. That's why the crowd
Is
got
against him.
agitated. But his behavior then, I would say, it wasn't necessarily just in response, because he continues to drive erratically.
Oh, so he was probably
and-
mad
and
because
not
everybody
sure the
started busting
mindset
his
of
windows
this
out.
person here, but
Yeah, 'cause he
if
hit a
they were an innocent
bicyclist.
person just trying to get out of the way, they're not leaving and getting out of the way in a normal fashion.
No, not at
Oh,
all.
he just passed the police
When he
car.
left that intersection, it was sort of interesting the way he was
Or is
wobbling.
that
I thought
security?
perhaps the car was in some way disabled,
Security.
but no, that was just his way of being somewhat threatening. But he sideswiped a bicyclist. That's what got the rest of the crowd, those that were on foot outside of the vehicle, against him.
Oh, look, he
that were
must
in
know
that
that he
place
being
where
on
Skyfox is
the
overhead, but you got
news.
that high
Now,
rise
if that
there,
would have
so
been
it's
my
gonna be
cousin, they would have
difficult
been
to see
shooting
the
at that
vehicle.
van.
I wonder if he had any
It would have been
idea
two
They would have stopped him.
helicopters,
Yeah, they would have stopped him
17
a long time ago.
a
troopers.
news helicopter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have been able to do this high speed chase.
Again, who knows what went down?
But
How
we
that
don't know what
happened,
color
like
he is, though.
bicyclists.
I
But I
just
mean,
seen
we
his
can
arm.
take it.
Was it
His arm looked like
intentional?
he was Caucasian.
Did someone get
Oh.
in the way? And then there was a panic scene, but it was very, very bizarre behavior as that person continued to drive around the downtown LA area.
He drive like I
May
did
have
on a good
lost
day.
that
I
vehicle,
drive like that on a good day.
thanks
None
to
of
that
stop.
big tall building there. But
Well, let us hope this driver.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with it.
down. Yeah.
Got
No,
out of
the way he was
area
backing up
and
seems like
just
back
was
in my
not
old days when I used to
intentionally
back
trying
up like
hurt
that.
anybody. Because that
I
is a
hate when
very
people
scary
back up
scenario
like
in itself.
that.
Let me just ask the people
I used to
in the
back up
booth
like
now,
that
did
in a
he
heartbeat.
sideswipe that
Especially
bicyclist
if I
in that
realize I'm in an
intersection
area
where
I
he
don't
was
need to
doing
be
the
in.
backwards donuts? Was that
Oh,
what
look, I'm
happened?
backing up
Because
too.
it was
I was like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong area. Let me
so
hurry and get the
he
hell up out of here.
Yeah.
Especially if not,
okay.
especially
So
if I'm in the
so it was
hood and it's
after
one of them
that,
hood and the
after he
guys
left
looking
the
at me like they,
intersection where he was
who are
doing the
you?
donuts,
Oh, I'm
and
backing up.
then he
Sorry.
approached. He actually
Oh, they
went
got the
through
guy?
Olvera Street or the Plaza rather. Is that him?
Oh,
there?
look, that's him
that
right
could
there.
be him. That is him. Okay, so we're back.
Did we
Wow.
just have law enforcement right there? Did he
Law
drive right past law
enforcement right
enforcement?
there.
We can tell
Oh
that's
my
him because
God.
there's damage to the vehicle.
The damage to the vehicle, and I
That
believe
is
the windows too were
hilarious.
shattered when people started throwing rocks. But my point is the bicyclist got hit after he left that intersection, and how would those people know that, you know, once you get into Chinatown and adjacent to Union
Yeah, I
Station,
said it the other
how
day.
would you know
There's
that
a-
this
there's
vehicle
a
was
Chinatown
involved
in every city.
you know, the donut situation? But then I guess as soon as he hit that bicyclist, that was enough for pedestrians or those in the area to realize, oh, you need to be stopped.
Is that a drone? I'm sorry, I see this white light and I'm trying to figure out what that is. It's
Could be a
following
drone these
him?
days.
I mean, is that a drone that's kind of keeping an eye on him? I've never seen that before.
What are you looking
So
at?
anyway, we have this person still driving erratically here, and that is still very concerning. As we see this person, I'm guessing still in the greater downtown LA area, which makes me wonder about his mindset.
He actually
Remember,
drive like
he got
I
out of
used
the
to when
vehicle,
I was in
did not
DC.
seem to have a
Oh,
shirt on, if
well,
I
I'm in
have that
DC
correctly.
sometimes.
And he was banging on that trash dumpster that people had put out into the middle of the street that are protesting, rioting, whatever.
I think he was trying to move it. Like, I don't know if he thought
why?
it could be sort of a barrier or something to affect
Now he
traffic
driving
or
like he got
affect
some
people.
sense.
But yeah, we're watching that vehicle. What is?
Is he
I can't
trying to
tell
get
if it's
the
a crossover,
police,
a van, or whatever. He has been affected by some traffic now and again, and then he would just back up and turn around and like break a lot of traffic laws.
So,
but this is unusual because usually we're used to the fact that there would be a police helicopter overhead, and we talk a lot about
Like,
like
I can't
what's
do that
the
now
want? Why
if
are
I
they
wanted to do
tracking
that
him? Why are
driving
they
like I
over him?
used to.
And this is a situation where
Too many
Skyfox is
cameras.
over this vehicle. We witness some of the erratic behavior and erratic driving, but we don't know if law enforcement is involved at all.
And again, I'm watching that white light. I have no idea what it is. It continues to be following this vehicle. It continues
What
to
white
be
light
in
is she
our shot.
talking about?
Yeah, it's so funny,
I don't
Christine, because
know,
you
but
see
how
it
can
on
law
that monitor. I
enforcement
don't
not
see
be
it on
involved,
the
but they
monitor.
can
So
see
it
it?
could just be the monitor.
Yeah, make that
Okay,
make
all right.
sense.
Yep.
Because most
right.
of them is on the foot dealing with the crowd.
But it is
That's
unusual.
why he
It is
got
a
away with it.
distracting monitor I'm
All
looking
the,
at
all the
here.
police down
Forgive
there,
me
down
if
there
anybody
with the
else is seeing this
protesters.
on their monitor. It's a very strange thing.
Right, they too
Okay, so let me
busy
avert my eyes to another monitor.
doing
Fight,
No
fake,
light
fighting
here.
fake
Okay,
crime.
so again,
Right.
what is
Exactly.
the mindset of this person, and is this a rogue lone person
And
who's
that's
taking
and that's
matters
the
into their own hands
that's the
to
danger
try to make a statement against those who are
of
still
these
out on the
fake
streets.
facados.
Exactly. That is the
You have people
question.
really
And there
committing
are
real
definitely
crimes,
people
and you
that
can't
thought
even,
that
catch
he's
the
not
people
with
that's doing
them.
real
He's
crimes.
not with the agitators.
Because you
that
down
he was
there trying
to
to
do something
arrest
to
somebody that's not
distract
doing
or
anything but
interrupt
walking
what
up
they
the
were
street.
doing. At least that's what it appeared to be. He's driving at
Running
a
red
high
lights.
rate of
Go
speed,
ahead now. You
considering
bad
he's
as
on a
mother.
surface street and made that
I'm
turn
good, but ain't
to
that
the
good.
left awful quickly. I'm missing the smart navigation so we could tell precisely where he is in the LA area. But he's going at a pretty good clip. No one's near him. Whoa, that was a little too close.
Yeah, something is not right with this driver. The behavior is way too erratic to be normal. Not sure the area that this driver is in now, but obviously we've pulled away a little bit from the downtown area specifically itself.
You gotta be
Looks
careful
a little
because
bit
you
more
really can flip
residential
over
here,
quickly in
and
those
not sure
vans
where
and
this driver
SUVs.
is now headed,
Yes,
but we've
you
seen some
can, 'cause
very
they top heavy.
strange behavior. And when we queue up that tape at some point in time,
And that look
you'll
like
see
a
exactly what we're
caravan.
talking
They are
about
very
doing.
top heavy.
We've seen a lot of car scenes where they do donuts in the middle of the street, but in reverse.
Right.
That was crazy. With people around.
Like, it wouldn't have surprised me if there were people that got involved and wanted to do a street takeover, but to do it
They
in
determined to
reverse,
find that
and then
van.
clearly to not be as a part of the demonstration that's going on right now. It seemed pretty obvious that he wasn't really a part of what is going on.
They were quite upset.
He wanted to object, or, I don't think that necessarily means he's with the police chief and the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, but regardless, don't
Now,
know
if
his
they're
state
smart,
of mind.
they'll
It
park
didn't
in one
seem
of
as
those
if
streets
he's
right
like,
there.
I'm with you guys.
Jump out and
'cause
leave the
instead,
car there.
protesters started to throw
There you go,
rocks
right
and
there. There's
concrete
the
at
van.
him.
Right
I believe
there.
it broke the window because then he started lobbing things back out of the car.
Is this the vehicle stopped? Like he drove home?
No, see?
And it's,
That's a vehicle.
I don't know if
Look
this
at
person
that's
got
the
caught up.
fender.
There he is right there,
See?
shirt off. Oh, please don't get back in the car.
Yeah, that's the guy that we watched try to move a dumpster unsuccessfully.
I mean, he's got a sense that there is this helicopter overhead. It's not overly warm out tonight to be without a shirt on in LA. It does cool down at night, so that is bizarre in itself. But obviously the guy pulled over,
if they do
parked the
fingerprints, they're
vehicle
gonna get you,
in a
dummy.
normal fashion, and perhaps he is out of the vehicle and he's done driving. Let that be. This is very bizarre.
It's very bizarre indeed. So now he's
I
gone
saw
into
him
the
look up
back.
at the helicopter.
What is he doing? He's pulling out, oh, I just need to shake this shirt or jacket or something, because now I'm going to put on my jacket. Meantime, he left the driver's side door open. Oh, so he, the reason why likely that he's shaking that out is because I'm pretty sure the window on the driver's side was broken
Left
at
the
the
door,
least.
Left the door open. Oh no!
Oh,
getting
he
into
got to another vehicle. Look, y'all.
So sensing this person has no, they're just opening car doors. Is this their vehicle?
So he was shaking out that jacket,
That's
I
their
believe,
vehicle.
because it was full of shattered glass from the window. But what is that? So that car is on, and he decided to open the door and throw that
So
jacket
that was
in.
a
Meantime,
setup?
he did
You
leave the
did
door
that to go
open
change
on the
vehicles?
driver's side.
He's talking,
approaching somebody.
Oh, please!
Oh,
Okay,
police are
thank you.
involved. They
Police
are indeed
here.
aware and involved.
About time.
Well, this is a good thing. If they were watching our coverage here on Fox 11, we had it all. So police have stopped this guy from getting behind the wheel of that second vehicle or back behind
Look
his
how
own
nicely they
vehicle.
arresting
now
him.
they can question him to say,
Right, they've been
"Who
us,
are
been
you?
body
What the heck
slam,
were you
face
doing?"
it,
What were you
pavement,
doing?
and
And
some
now
more
we have
stuff.
an idea of specifically where he is. Vanna Street and East First Street. So just outside the downtown Los Angeles area. It's odd. He was not very... He didn't resist arrest. He didn't seem all that surprised either. The police suddenly came upon him. Meantime, the woman that he was talking to, police are saying, no, you need to back up. You need to back up. And she looks like she's objecting to all of this.
I'm
Meantime,
not sure. Is she? No, she seems to be talking with that officer. Okay, they're
in
back.
the meantime, he's like, everybody's got to back up. Everybody's got to back up.
Yeah. Well,
He looks like he's a sheriff's deputy, not LAPD.
Again, it's not an overly warm night to be on the streets like that in shorts with no shirt, and that behavior, you have to wonder about that behavior. obviously some damage to the vehicle. Talking with people on our team who actually have a better viewpoint of this, he definitely did hit a bicyclist or sideswipe a bicyclist in some fashion, hoping that person is okay. That was after that bizarre behavior of doing those donuts in reverse in the middle of an intersection there.
Minion, I told you about going to
Should
that
we go
corner
back
store.
to Matthew Seedorf to
Yeah,
see
right,
what the
right. At
situation
night.
is near
Had
City
me doing
Hall?
donuts in
We see a
reverse.
lot
Right.
more
Yeah,
sheriff's
out there
deputies
doing
in that
donuts in
skirmish line
reverse
there.
and speeding through streets and everything and
When we
hitting
when we
bikes.
finish
we
this
have been
minion,
watching
I
as
have two more. One
LASD
at
deputies
356 and
have
one at
arrived on
357. One
scene.
is in
That's in part to
Tampa
relieve
and
the
one is in
LAPD.
Austin.
Some of their
Okay, we
officers,
can
I'm
put
sure,
them
have
up
been
if y'all
working
want. This is
long
almost
hours,
at the
so it
end.
was time to bring
Yeah.
in
But
And then it-
that's why I put
some
them up for you.
extra
So when you finish with this
resources
one.
and personnel power. Still seeing fireworks go off as well. So clearly the people that are just past City Hall, and we noticed that there was an attempt to create sort of a bonfire in the middle.
Like,
Okay, let me.
why are all these cops out? Ain't nobody even doing anything. That's my whole point. You got somebody that's doing something, and you barely take care of him. But people running. He running the streets and running over folks and almost hitting cars and all of that. But you handle him with care.
Right.
5 News Plus and our special coverage today of protests across America. It is June 14th. It is Flag Day. It is President Donald Trump's birthday. There are a lot of events going on, not only in our nation's capital, with military demonstrations, a parade later today, fireworks show as well in our nation's capital, but also protests all across the country, not just here in Florida, but in about 1,500 cities across the country. I'm going to try to pull up a map that we have that shows you those locations, because they are widespread. They're in a lot of different places here in Central Florida, and we have team coverage today as we continue to track these protests and what happens in our area and also across the country. Let me show you a live look right now. This is in Daytona Beach, where Fox 35's Matt Trezza is this morning. We'll check in with him in just a little bit. But you can see quite the crowd there lining the streets, many of them holding signs and trying to get their word out. This is part of the No Kings Day of Defiance is what they're calling it.
Be right back.
A national organization that is kind of organizing these, but it's really grassroots led. In many of these communities, you see a sign there right in the middle, a black sign that says "No Kings." That is certainly the theme among many of these protests that we're going to see today, and what we are going to hear from many of these people. Again, this is a live look in Daytona Beach. But let me go ahead and pull up that map that I was talking about, showing these No Kings Day protests across America. So this is from the No Kings website, nokings.org. Every dot is a scheduled protest, and you see many of them across the country. Again, the latest kind of ballpark number we had was about 2,000 protests at about 1,500 different cities. I want to go down here to Florida and kind of zoom in a little bit just so you can get an idea of what it looks like here. And you see, even just in our area, quite a few. Orlando, Castleberry, Lake Mary, looks like one in Mount Dora, Deltona, DeLand, Daytona Beach. We know New Smyrna Beach. In Brevard
So
County,
Florida
there's
got
one
some
in,
things
Cocoa.
going on.
A number of these different protests. Again, we have team coverage today. Fox 35's Matt Trezza out in Volusia County covering the protests there. We have Fox 35's Esther Bauer in Brevard County covering those protests there. And then also a protest in downtown Orlando later today. That one's scheduled for 5 o'clock. Fox 35.
Okay, so that means that they're gonna have people there
But we have a full day of coverage
for
you
his
here live on
newscast.
Fox Local and on
no, for his
YouTube.
parade.
If you
Oh.
are
They need
watching
people.
with us
You remember
on
you was
YouTube,
like they need to have people
Well,
protesting.
chat
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
show us.
And And that's the same time zone
Tell us where you're
also.
watching from.
But one
Let
of our
us know. Say
subscribers
hello.
said that
And we appreciate
in
you
order to
joining
resolve
us.
all of
Fox
this,
35's Morgan
all
Parrish
we
going to
need to
join me
do
in here in
is
just a little
have the
bit
NBA players
as we
not play
continue
any
our
games.
coverage.
You
Fox
know,
35's
start
Marty
hitting them in their
Kapper going
pockets.
to join me later this
Hmm.
afternoon as well as
But they
we
got
have
it. That's
a
on
full day
them
of coverage
if
with
they
live
want to do
guests
that.
as well, looking at safety and security angles. We'll
But
Okay,
you
continue
know,
I'm
to
back.
have
this
some law
is
enforcement
Florida with
experts. We
DeSantis.
are also going
So
to speak to a
you
couple
know,
of
this
political
this is
analysts and
Trump.
political
This is
experts
one of
about
Trump's
this
states. This is where
this
he
kind of
actually lives. You
moment
know,
in time.
Mar-a-Lago
We
is in
know it
Florida.
is a
So I
very
guess they can't show us
divisive
the live
political
coverage.
climate.
You know, they got to
You
mention it,
certainly
but they
see
can't
that
show us, I
today
guess.
with the split screens that we
Let
will
me see if
see
I can see
throughout the
anything
day
in other
as
parts
we
of
see some
Florida,
of
since
these
he ain't gonna show
events
us nothing.
going on in a number of different places and
Look,
juxtaposed
I'm
with
back.
many of those
I had to
events going
go
on
to the
in
door and
Washington, D.C. We did
had to
talk a
let
little
them
bit
know,
about some of
you
those
know, they
events
need to
going
leave
on
my
in our
door.
nation's
And I
capital
told them
today. Let me
because
give you a live
I
look.
had
This
to
is
lock my
from
pum
our
back
sister
up.
station in Washington, D.C. This is the Army fitness competition that's
I
going
guess they
on
think
the
I'm a joke
National
at this
Mall.
door.
And
Somebody was
this
looking
is going
for
to be going on. It
Tamika.
began
I
at
told him Tamika
9:30
don't
and
live
runs to
here. And he
12:30.
cussed me out
So
through the door and
several
told me to open the
hours
door.
today.
I said, you
This
got
is
three things
posted
to
to the
do.
PPG,
You can walk
Fox
away,
5,
limp
Washington, D.C.,
away,
in our
or
nation's
be carried
capital.
away.
This
Make your
is,
choice. Make
I
it
believe,
wise.
on the National Mall where this is all happening.
They walked
You
away.
can see
Okay.
some of those
They
Looks
picked door
like they
number.
made the right
action
decision,
They
right?
this
picked
is
door
the
number one.
250th birthday of the U.S.
They made
Army,
the right
and that
decision.
is one of the reasons for all of these
And so
events that are going
you know,
on
I just had to
in
go
D.C.
put my
6:30
pum back
p.m.
up,
is
lock
the
it back
Army
up.
250th
Okay.
birthday
Thank
parade,
God.
followed by concerts, fireworks on the
Oh, I
National
don't be
Mall
playing. I'm
as
here
The
I
by
well.
puppy
said,
la
myself,
pum
Lord.
So
pum.
this is happening right now on
I'm
the
here by
National Mall.
myself. And when
And
you
then for
banging
much
on
of
my
the day,
door,
they're
like
having an
you the
Army
popo.
Birthday Festival that's going to have some more live
You
military
better
now
be the
why
activities.
is he
They're going
popo.
to
just
have
showing us
tanks
this?
out
Why
there,
isn't he
all
not showing
kinds
us the
of
protest? Why are he
different
showing
things.
us
But that
about
kind
them
of sets the
training?
scene for what's going
We
on
could
Because
care
it's
less
supposed to
about
be
Saturday
the
this.
as well as we
Army
see more of these
anniversary
protests beginning
celebration.
as well across the country. Give you another live look in Daytona Beach. And I was looking for the
Once
exact
again, a bird's eye
location.
view of the
This Daytona
protest.
Beach protest, I believe it's outside Daytona Beach City Hall is where we're talking about. You see hands off democracy on one of those signs there. And we had the chance to speak with one of the organizers yesterday of in Brevard County. We know in Cocoa this afternoon, they're expecting about 2,000 people. From this shot right here, hard to tell exactly how many people might be out there in
I'm
Volusia
sorry, but
County
that lady
right
don't
now.
need them shorts on.
But we will ask Matt about that in just a little bit. Also, a word of warning here.
No.
These are live protests. These are live events. Once we kind of get into some of these, I do want to warn you that there is certainly the possibility of some language in what we might hear, but also in what we might see on some of those signs, some of the T-shirts as well. You just never know, so I just want to go ahead and put that warning out there. So viewer discretion is advised. You see that warning on your screen as well.
That must
So
be in,
this
must be in
event
the
is
South.
just getting started in Daytona Beach. All three
One of my
Volusia
subscribers
County
say it's hot
protests
out there.
beginning at 10 a.m. running to noon.
Outside.
All the three that we are
Yeah,
monitoring:
that's the
Reach, Daytona
South.
Beach, New
Well,
Smyrna Beach,
she
and
said, I was saying that
DeLand.
lady
And then
that
this is
need
the
them
one
shorts on. She was
in
letting me know it's
Daytona
hot
Beach.
outside. She
You
gotta
see
have
a
them
lot of
shorts on.
American flags.
Oh, you talking
See,
about that
again,
big
they're
lady?
draped in the American
Yeah,
flag.
the one look
One
like
of
she
the
cooking
colonial
biscuits.
ones that look like with the stars in a circle, and then also a
But I feel
lady
her.
poking
I
fun
would have did the
at
same
Donald
thing
Trump.
if I was her
So
size.
Right,
we are going
right.
to take a quick break here on Fox 35 News
Yeah,
Plus
that's in
and
Florida.
on
Cause,
YouTube.
'cause
We're
they
going to
look
come
like
back.
they look
We're
like the
going to kind of
South.
continue to set things up with
Knowing
a
people was
few
gonna
live
talk
looks
about me and
into
not
these
Ken. No, I'm
protests.
joking.
Hear from
She,
Especially not right.
some
Look,
I
organizers
don't
especially
think
involved
she
with
thinks she was gonna be on the news
getting
like
these
that
set
Yeah,
up
though.
yeah,
here
right. You're right.
and why they're
especially
And
doing
that
it.
one
they
right there
did
with
it
the
We are
on
also
shorts.
going
purpose.
to hear from
Like that
the
man with the
Brevard
shorts
County
and the
Sheriff, Wayne
suspenders.
Ivey, who had some this week, urging folks and basically
They did that on purpose.
laying down the
You
law
know they
when it comes
did.
to
They know they
making
wrong
sure
for
that
that.
these
All the
events
people they
stay-
could have showed.
stay safe and stay peaceful. So we're going to step aside, take our first quick break here, and we will be right back after this. But before we do, I'm going to go ahead and give you a live look right now. This is from Sky Fox, and a live look at the protest in Castleberry in Seminole County. off 436 is
They got
where
more
this
people than
is.
Dallas
And you can
had.
see a big crowd out there on both
I'm mad
sides
about Dallas
of
because,
that
you
highway
know,
as the chopper kind of
that's
They
my
only
old
show you
stomping.
part
widens
of
out. So
Dallas
it's
Yeah,
because
showing
if I look,
that's my old
cars driving
stomping
by.
ground. I want them to
This
do
is
better.
again a
well,
rising
from what
view
I
from
saw earlier, there
Castleberry
was a big crowd,
from
so that's
Sky
why
Park.
I
So we're
said
going to
it
step aside,
depends
take a
on
quick
how
break here.
big Dallas
We'll be right
is.
back.
But what I saw
Oh, Dallas
earlier,
is huge. Dallas got probably what
they
2 or
only
3
show you
million
the
people.
small crowd. They didn't show you the big crowd because I saw the big crowd. I don't know why they showed that little bitty crowd, unless they dispersed since I saw it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They were show, you know how you watch the
My name
news
is
and they show
Josh
you the
Breslow,
different
and I'm here to
cities.
bring you
They
all of
showed
your top
Dallas. Dallas had a
stories. And
crowd.
Let me go to the other one.
That's why I was like Dallas got 1.3 million people there. Come on, Dallas. I know y'all can do better than that. Let me try to find one in Dallas. Or is that what
Okay.
you're looking for? Or
No,
you
this
doing
the other
something
one
else?
that you had sent
Oh,
me.
that's the other one that I sent. Okay.
hmm
We'll kind of fast forward through it with the conflict because we're talking about American politics.
This one?
Is that the last one I sent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought that one was in Austin, but maybe Austin just showing California. It's like they keep highlighting California. They don't want to show their own city.
Hey, I drank that beer too fast. I gotta go get another one. No, they bored. Look at them. They bored. One standing there just leaning on it.
And why they gotta have these masks on? I don't understand that part of it. Why y'all hiding y'all faces? I don't understand that.
They
What
don't
they
want
what they
they don't
hiding
want
for?
their families to be
Upset.
ousted.
Doxed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I'm not saying no names in my chat. I don't want my chat to be doxed because we're showing this controversial information. Minion to put his anonymous mask on.
Y'all ain't gonna dox me.
Well, the muskrat is upset right now, so I think we're pretty safe for right now.
Yeah, he worried about LA.
Until he get over his madness.
Who?
Muskrat.
Oh, yeah.
The one with
you
the
know
satellites.
Well, you know, he said that he was he think he went too far. So now
Yeah,
he's trying
cause he probably
You
threatened.
need some contracts.
He probably threatened to take those contracts. So yeah, of course he gonna say he went too far.
He don't give a damn about going too far. He'll go too far again and apologize. He don't care.
Right. Okay.
Because
So
what
yeah.
he got harassed. He got harassed.
Okay.
Once he got,
Now Dallas represent. Thank you, Foxy. Now this is a representation of Dallas.
I
I'm
told you.
I know they can do better than this. Come on,
I
Texas.
told you.
Speaking of Texas, I think I want some Dairy Queen. Ooh, 11-11.
Oh, you going to Dairy Queen? Get me a banana split.
Don't that sound good?
Don't give me nothing
Yeah.
from Dairy Queen.
You don't like Dairy Queen?
They MAGA. Don't give me nothing from them.
Oh, well, then I ain't going there.
I want
You said
Williams.
that what?
Give me some Williams chicken from Dallas on 2nd Street.
Never mind.
I just put another one in Dallas, Minion.
You did?
I did from Dallas. Yeah, this is Dallas. This is North Texas.
This Dallas?
This is how Dallas represented. I was like, I know good and goddamn darn well Dallas doing better than this.
Move into
I told you.
the streets of downtown Dallas.
There you go.
I believe that's Hervey Street.
There we go.
That's what
Find the Houston
Kennedy.
one.
That's where Kennedy got shot at on Hervey Street.
I should have just went my ass down there.
There you go. And
No,
live feed it.
don't. There you go. You talking about?
No, you said them your folks, so you
You talking about you gonna get
a
shot up?
That's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah.
This is Hervey
Then they
Street.
go shack your ass and haul you off to jail.
Oh, they take it. Where's this at? There's this old man. They arrested this old man.
This is Texas supporter. This is Texas.
That's how it goes with live television. here as it's coming in, raw and unfiltered, and happening
This is where
live on
RFK
this
was shot up
Saturday
in
afternoon. A
downtown
very
off of
hot,
Irving and Wood
muggy
Street.
day across North Texas.
Oh wow!
And you are
Look,
looking
they
at
just showed
what
on my
appears
TV
to
because I
be
got on
now
another TV
thousands
channel on
of people
called
leaving
Pondering
Dallas City
Politics.
Hall and
He just
starting
showed
to
them
take to the
taking an
streets,
old
and
man,
they are
arresting
going
an
to be
old man.
marching.
And I mean, the man
Not
can
clear at
barely
this
walk.
point
Old,
where they are
little
going
old
specifically,
man.
if they have an end point in
All right, well,
mind,
y'all, I
or
know
if
you
they are
got
just
stuff to
doing this
do.
sort of
So,
on the impromptu
Yeah,
y'all
I do it.
want
I do
and
it
they're just
7.
going to walk around for a
She
little
said
at
bit
7
7?
o'clock.
and then
Yeah,
wrap
7.
things
So I'm
up
good
and
for
put a
right now.
bow on it
Oh, you
at
good for
2
right now?
o'clock.
Well,
Mhm.
I got
Of course,
stuff to do,
continue to go
y'all.
past
Yeah, he gotta go
3
make my
o'clock
money.
in the
I
afternoon.
do.
Go out
It's
there,
a
I,
bit longer
go out
than
there and
the
get on the
time they
corner
were
like I
originally
told you to.
scheduled
okay.
for.
Ooh.
Again, one of the theories as to why this was being
Yeah.
held in the
It
afternoon
Yeah,
might be a
is
good
yeah,
day
because
Posse
it's a
getting
today.
turned
march
up. Yeah, I guess
opportunity
it's
for
time.
mayhem. You're seeing now the front end of the group that's
It might be a
marching there.
good
I'm
day to
trying
go
to
out on
read
that
that
corner.
street
All them
sign
people.
there.
I might get a
No,
lot of business.
yeah,
But
you
Uh,
might
they're
get a lot of
marching
business
yeah,
today.
yeah.
down the
That's why they're
street.
going out there
I
getting on my corner.
don't
That
think you're gonna get
means
no business
traffic is
today
shut
though. I
down.
think
And
everybody
so
kind of,
that's Jackson
they
Street.
focused
Thank
on
you,
this
Matt.
stuff. They at home
Jackson
watching this.
Street, they're
Ain't nobody
marching
going
across
nowhere.
right
Me.
now.
You know what? You're right. They ain't gonna pay him
Marching
no mind unless he
across
go down
Jackson
Mm-mm.
down
Street
there.
Ain't
as
nobody
we
going
speak
nowhere.
in
Now I'm
downtown
No,
going to the
Dallas.
protest
So obviously, if
streets
people
where
are
the
out and
protesters
about
at.
No,
then he
and
okay.
gonna make.
you
Then they gonna
don't
make
know
my
that these
money.
are going
Pimp
on
Fat
and you're
told you to go down there
wondering
and make my money.
why
Oh,
it's a parking lot
Well,
on
he
the
better go in the
streets
daytime
around
because I
and
don't trust that
even
night
around downtown
these
Dallas.
days.
This
Don't go
is
nowhere at
why,
night, y'all. Y'all
because
stay at
Look,
home.
you have a
look, go
very
down there
large
now, and when the
demonstration
night and look when
marching
the
through
lights
the
come
streets
on,
of
go
downtown
home.
Dallas
Yeah, when
right
the street
now.
lights come
Much
on,
more
you better be in the
subdued over in
house.
Fort
Right,
Worth at
But
exactly.
Veterans Park.
I knew
It's a
seriously.
Dallas
little
was gonna do
bit
something bigger than
less
what they were doing,
organized
though. I'm
there, a
glad to
little
see
bit
that
more
they did,
grassroots,
that
if you
we
will.
actually had a
As you
crowd
heard,
because
just lots of cars honking
I was
as they
I was
drive
like, I
up
know good
West
good and
7th
well
Street down
there's more
there
Look,
people
they
than
did
in
their
this.
big one
downtown,
for about
not
30
far
minutes
from
and then they
Bass
took
Concert
their ass to the
Hall. But
house.
It's hot in
as we
Dallas.
suspected,
Okay.
Dallas is where the action is
Y'all
It's
got
a,
a
right
it is
sauna
a, it
now.
down
is.
So
there.
Ooh, it's a
right
lot of
now, from
people.
these
I told you.
live pictures, I want
Yeah.
to point out that our assignment desk, our intrepid folks working
And they
in the
still
assignment
moving
desk,
in this
checking in
video.
with folks at Dallas Fire
Mm-hmm.
Rescue and with Fort Worth Fire Rescue about any injuries or any heat-related calls. And once we get numbers on those, we'll keep you updated on that. But that's something that we're mindful of, and we've been talking about that as it is pretty hot out there, a hot summer afternoon for an event like this, for people to be not only outside in the sunshine, but also marching. And so it's difficult where Davidson Tendry is right now to see at City Hall. He says it doesn't appear to be super organized, but the march is headed north on Irvay toward Main Street in downtown Dallas.
That's where I used to work
people
at,
are
off of
holding
Main Street.
signs, and they are chanting. And as
I was
David
telling my
pointed out,
cousin, I
you've
said,
got
I'm
people
so
from
glad I
all
don't
walks
work the
of
job I
life
work
there.
anymore in
I've
DC.
seen
I
children
mean,
My
marching,
ex
you know,
got a restaurant
I
in
have seen
Dallas.
white
But at
people,
the end
I've
of the
seen
day,
brown
though,
people,
guys,
I have
it's
seen
it's
old
it may be
people,
hot
young
outside,
people,
but when you
a
downtown with
pretty
all of the
nice
buildings, it's a
slice
little bit
of
cooler
society
It's like a
downtown.
represented.
win.
Yeah, it's
What
but the
David
buildings
and
kind
his
of block the
photographer
sun, so
referred
maybe that's
to
the reason
as
why they chose to march downtown.
more grandparent
Because it is
age.
going to be a little bit more cooler
I don't
than
know what
just
that
trying to
means,
march
but
in an
I think
open
I get
area.
it. That
yeah,
typically these
normally that's the
crowds
way it is. That's the same way
are
here in
filled with
DC.
people of a younger generation,
Look, I telling
really
my
wanting to
cousin,
get
I said,
out
I'm
there
so glad I don't work for the federal government. 'Cause I
create
be at work
change in the
right
world
now.
and spark change
I would,
and
the
make a
money be
difference in the
good, but I
world.
still be at
And he
work
said
right
that the
now.
crowd wasn't as young as he was thinking, that the folks gathering in Dallas were more of a grandparent
Because we would
age.
have
But
all
turning
our
on
officers,
to
all
No
our
wonder they
federal.
had to go
right
in the house.
now,
His
and you can
grandparents.
see this is quickly growing. And And
Look, all our
with
federal,
it, we also
all our
should point
federal
out
officers are
gross
downtown right now.
headaches, associated with containing all of this and when it comes to policing. It's one thing when you've got a large group gathered on the plaza there in front of Dallas City Hall and everyone's sort of in one location primarily, but now when you've got people on the move, mobile, going from point A to point B, that creates more soft targets and other things that members of law enforcement
Look how calm they
worry
cops
about
are.
when it comes to things like these. So you are watching Fox live streaming coverage this afternoon of the No Kings protest happening
Baby, they filling up a
in
whole
downtown
block,
Dallas, in
2 or 3
downtown Fort
blocks.
Worth,
More than
points
2 or 3
across North
blocks.
Texas and around
That's
the
about 6
country,
blocks.
for that matter. Philadelphia, by the
That's a
way, is
lot of
where
people. They
Yeah, it really is a lot of
organization
people.
is based, and
I told you there was a
Philadelphia
lot.
is sort of the
That's why
hub
when they showed
of this
that
event
little
today.
bit
Their
you showed earlier, I was
flagship
like,
march
that ain't
and
what I
rally
saw
was held at
earlier.
Love Park
That's just the
from
news
12
trying to,
noon
a
to
lot of
3
these news
p.m.
stations trying to
Eastern.
appease
And
Agent
this, of
Orange.
course, has all been to counter the military parade in Washington, D.C. A lot of pomp and circumstance with artillery and military personnel marching through the streets of our nation's capital to celebrate the Army's anniversary, but also President Trump's birthday and Flag Day.
Where's the National
This is
Guard
the
Abbott said he was going to have here in
nationwide
Texas?
day of action as people marching through downtown Dallas. I'm not sure if David Centendry is on the move or if he is in a position to check in. Okay, so he is moving, which I suspected because he was starting there at City Hall where things began, and now he's trying to get up and ahead
Look at that crowd.
of the crowd so he can find a good place to plop down and bring us additional live pictures. Boy, oh boy, that is quite some
Look at
crowd
that.
there, ladies
Yeah,
and
this is
gentlemen.
kind of y'all think this is bigger than
Dallas
California's?
police figure of some 1,300.
I say about neck and neck, to be honest with
David
you.
Centendry is back.
Y'all
You think
might
it's
have
about the same?
about the same. I think y'all might have them beat a little bit.
What do you see, David?
But see, the thing is, they've been shooting rubber bullets and dividing them up. So it kind of kind of sporadic. But if they were unified like Dallas was, yeah, it'd be about the same. Be about neck and neck.
Taken over this downtown area. This is the march that we had gotten a heads up about just before the protest started. You can hear that cheering as people are starting to enter toward Main Street right now. It's a very energetic crowd out here.
Minion, we represent.
Yeah.
Texas representing in the house.
A whole lot of them.
Go ahead, Dallas.
And they still got their red, white, and blue. They're like, this is our
With the
nation.
50 flags. I mean, with the 50
stars.
stars. Yeah, not with 13 Confederate stars.
There was chatter amongst people in different groups saying,
Not
They
like
said, this our country, not yours, mother.
And it's a mixture of crowd. We ain't in that crowd, but it's Caucasians and Hispanics, but it's not us. Y'all see that, right?
Look, I went to my balcony window. I can hear, like if they do fireworks or anything of DC, I'm close enough that I can hear the crowd if they got a crowd. We ain't got much of a crowd.
I think that
I think we're going to pause here for a minute and just show people walking
you know,
by.
some of us out there, some of us.
It
Yeah,
has
it's
been
some
a
of
Where we
us.
at?
But I
don't see
think that
not in Dallas, it's not.
We certainly see
There's
I
the one
see
right
'em.
there.
here.
See right there
Yeah.
with the green shirt.
Curse words and foul language. being
One
pointed
out
at
of
the
all of
president.
these people.
Stuff that, again, we're going to do our best not to let get.
But I don't want that to make it look
air,
like we
but
divided, because at the end of the day,
Oh, we're
it's
not
one
divided.
fight.
We're not divided. We're
It's
just
one
trying to stay
fight.
alive. We're just trying to stay alive and stay out of jail. That's all.
Apologies for that.
If,
That
if
part.
I didn't feel like he was going to try to launch martial law on us, I will wholeheartedly advise everybody to get out in the streets. But I'm telling you, he's waiting on us to get out there so that he can throw us in jail and do martial law all over the country.
Well,
He's
yeah,
not
because
gonna
you
do,
know,
he's not going to
every,
do martial law on his own people. He waiting on us to get out there.
just, I mean, that's the reason why they characterize us as angry black women and, you know, thugs and stuff like that, because they want to perpetuate a image of violence, angry, right?
Yes. Just even look up the definition of white and black in the dictionary, and it's a stark difference. White is pure and gray, and black is doom and gloom. When you even just look up the definition of it.
Well, you know, here when they had the George Floyd march here in DC, they showed a lot of videos. It wasn't even us that were doing a cocktail.
No, they had agitators in the crowds.
Right.
That's what they're doing too. They're doing that in New York and California, everywhere. They're putting agitators in the crowds purposely to try to rile up the people.
Well, then some of them ain't even got to put them in there. They just do it themselves just to be dumb, to set us up.
It goes on for several blocks. And then if you turn to our left, you can see that
Okay.
for several blocks back towards City Hall, this thing is still ripping. I'm not sure if we have a Sky 4 aerial view right now overhead that can just show how many blocks it's covering. I can't make it out right now.
But
But
I
it's
see a lot of
certainly
Caucasian
a
people,
very
y'all.
large.
I know that's right.
Okay, we see how that went.
Young, first to you, tell us what's happening in the protest there. And one key question I have actually is local law enforcement having trouble policing this situation?
Well, since you asked about local law enforcement, let's start with LAPD. I'm standing outside the Metropolitan Detention Center. There was a protest out here, but I'm going to quote LAPD. In their news release, they said last night, yes, there was some spray painting, but what they did was this incident wrapped without incident. So what happened here was, again, without incident. The LAPD is describing it that way. There was an unlawful assembly, and in protest, that does happen. But as far as what the LAPD said, that they are viewing this as something that was manageable and something that they could handle and that they are ready to respond to. But I want to show you what the National Guard response is. Again, outside the Metropolitan Detention Center. I was talking about the spray painting. You can see some of this. This entire block appears to be tagged. But take a look at these officers. These are soldiers, rather. You can see what there's about maybe 25 of them standing here in quite a display of a show of force. And each of these soldiers, if Mike, you can zoom in a little bit, they're each carrying a long stick and a rifle. Each one of them is carrying a rifle. It appears to be a lethal rifle. We don't know what the status of those weapons are, but they certainly are here with their uniforms on and an incredible show of force. Armored vehicles also positioned outside of the Metropolitan Detention Center. So what is happening here today? I'm going to have you sweep across this way and just take a look over here. We have a very small handful of people. When I first got here, there was more press than members of the public. There are a couple women who are shouting at the soldiers. There has not been any confrontation. You can still smell from last night a little bit of the pepper spray that was used, some of the anti-riot measures that were deployed last night. But this appears to be very, very peaceful as of right now. But what I can tell you just from what I'm seeing here, Jim, an incredible show of force here in the streets of Los Angeles. I went by City Hall. We zoomed through downtown, and so far everything here is peaceful. Jim?
Kyung, thanks so much for that update. Good to have you there on the ground. Please keep yourself and the team safe. I want to go to Betsy Klein now. Now, Betsy, of course, this administration typically has quite a deferential approach to law enforcement. As Kyung was just saying there, LAPD says they have the situation under control, though now you have those uniformed National Guardsmen there. How is the administration responding to this, and how are they justifying this deployment?
Well, Jim, there has been so much pressure on the Trump administration to ramp up its deportation efforts. President Trump campaigned on that, and in the first months of his presidency, of his second term, he has fallen far short of his stated goals. So we have been seeing increasing deportation efforts from ICE, a major crackdown in recent weeks, all of this leading up to the protests that we have been seeing in the Los Angeles area. Now, President Trump making that decision Saturday night to deploy 2,000 members of the National Guard. Members because in his view, and the White House and other top Republican officials, Californian officials, including the governor, Gavin Newsom, were not doing enough to tamp down that violence. But this, of course, is such an intrinsically political move. A president hasn't unilaterally called in the National Guard since the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. And California Governor Gavin Newsom has said that the move would only exacerbate tensions on the ground. Of course, all of this comes as the Trump administration is weighing massive cuts that could happen in the coming days to federal grants for the state of California. But Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that all of this is a matter of security. Take a look.
These 2,000 National Guard soldiers that are being engaged today are ones that are specifically trained for this type of crowd situation. National Guard soldiers are there to provide security for operations and to make sure that we have peaceful protests. So that's what their work is. And I won't get more specific on that just because we never do when it comes to law enforcement operations.
You won't get specific because you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. We never do.
Yeah, and she going to
Yes, you
jail.
do.
As soon as he get out of office, all of them going to jail. Watch and see. He the only
Yeah.
one ain't going. He's not going. He's that type of dude to have people do his dirty work for him.
60 days. And
She going to jail,
Mhm.
and the
Defense
part
Secretary. I also want to read
and
you a post to
cause
social
you
media
sit
from
back
FBI
and you talking
Deputy
about,
Director Dan Bongino,
you
who
said all
says,
the,
quote, "We are
and I
not
keep telling
stopping or
everybody
slowing
that
down.
what
We are
they
not
doing right now
intimidated or
is all they
apprehensive.
can
Illegal
do.
immigration
That's
operations
all
will
they can
continue,
do.
and anyone
That's
using
they.
violence to obstruct or
That's all they can
impede
do.
these
They can't
operations
go on
will be
the street
investigated
and push them
prosecute.
back unless they
Of course,
come
all
on
of
where
this
they
as
are, then they
President
can
Trump
defend
and top
themselves.
officials,
But as long
including
as they on the
Hegseth and
street,
Vice
it's nothing
President
that the
JD
National
Vance, who are
Guard
set
can
to
do.
huddle this
Do what they're
evening
doing
at
right
Camp
there
David. Jim.
in
And
this
he going.
video,
And he
staying
going
right
to
there
jail
at that
too.
pole.
Betsy Klein,
Dan
CNN Chief Law
Bonagino, he's going to
Enforcement
jail.
and
All of
Intelligence
them that's
Analyst
in
Don Miller
Homeland Security,
joins me now
they
for
all better
his
cherish their
perspective. Of course,
freedoms.
John served a long time in the NYPD.
Because I
Judge,
just think
just
it's going
first, if I could draw
to,
on your
this is
long
going to move the needle.
experience here. Of course, that's just a
It is. It's gonna move
snapshot
a
of what
lot
we
of
saw there
needles.
with Kyung, the size of the protests, and those soldiers there.
I hope he
Obviously,
getting
quite the
poked
calm
with that damn
situation.
needle.
But based on what you saw over the last 24 to 48 hours,
But I
was
mean,
that
seriously,
a
that's all the National
situation
Guard can
out
do.
of
And that's
control, out of
the
the
sad
control
part.
of
We're
local law
paying them
enforcement, which we
to
should know the
stand and
LAPD
do
has
what
its
they're doing
own
or sit in the
riot
building and play
control
cards.
units and units trained for riot
So
control.
we spending millions and billions of
The
dollars for the military to be
instability
somewhere
there
that they can't do nothing.
justify or require additional resources from where you're sitting?
I wouldn't say so, and I mean, I also.
I mean, it ain't surprising with Trump as at the helm because we always wasting money with him. How much have we spent on his golf up until now?
16 million.
The Iraqi war.
Yep.
And other things.
But yet, look, but they supposed to be cutting back on cutting
under control.
Waste and fraud and abuse.
But
yeah,
what we're
waste,
seeing is
fraud, and abuse.
He
and
the
he's doing it.
epitome of waste, fraud, and abuse.
Exactly.
Number one.
And none of that money going to anything. I asked somebody, I said, y'all keep fussing about he did this. What have gone down since he been in office? What prices have gone down since he been in office? What has he actually done for us that significantly done for us since he been in office? And this is
not true. We were there within 51
Not a
minutes,
mother
which is the amount of time it
thing.
takes.
I said, I'll wait. Look, I told him like this, I'll wait.
Which I'm pretty familiar with, unless it's
You
changed.
gonna keep waiting.
45 minutes to organize a mobile field force drawn from patrol units from across the city to get assembled.
This
get to the
man is out
location,
of.
and
He
take
is
control
the.
from another agency.
I don't
They were there
understand how he got in
51 minutes.
office,
They said
but
they were
we're
hampered
here,
by
so I guess we just got to
traffic
deal
and then
with it.
getting
But
I
through
know
the
one
crowds with their
YouTuber
vehicles, and then when
was
they got
all
out, they were
gun
in a
hole
gas
for him to
environment
get in
where
office.
they didn't have the
Now
proper
that same
equipment for gas
YouTuber
masks. They had
ain't
to call
saying
Metro in,
this squad about him.
to stabilize that. But since that
one
time,
YouTube that
they have been
endorsed him
operating
almost
in their normal
got deported or something.
control, operations
But
procedures.
look, this is one of the
So
YouTubers
why
that
is
I
the
used to be
National
on her
Guard
channel
there?
all the
So
time.
you've got three
And she was,
things.
oh, Trump this, Trump that. I can't wait
Number
till Trump
one,
get in. Trump,
they
Trump,
are
Trump, Trump,
there
Trump.
Oh, I know who
Now,
you talking
people
about.
I've spoken to,
and then
both the
time she
local
got
and
in there,
federal side,
time
for
he got
force
in there,
protection.
you don't hear her say,
When ICE
"Give the squad
agents
about it."
go out on
Let
massive
it burn,
operations or
let
big
it
Let it
burn,
burn.
let
they're
it
to form
burn.
that
Is
perimeter
that
I
you talking
started.
about?
and make sure
I
that those
started
Well,
going
y'all,
to
agents
channel.
let me hear what
aren't
he's saying,
interfered with by
y'all.
some crowd that gathers. The LAPD will not participate in civil immigration matters. When they call for help, though, and say we need police assistance here, the LAPD will respond to that. And third, when it comes to any kind of protest or disorder, the LAPD should be first in line there, not the National Guard.
One just very basic question. You heard Kristi Noem say that this National Guard unit is trained in crowd control. What degree of training would they have as compared to LAPD's own trained units? And would those weapons that Kyung La saw that would they have live ammunition in them?
they appear to have live ammunition in them. The magazines are in place. And, if you look at that third soldier from the left, in his magazines, you can see the shell casings from what appear to be live rounds. The training they would have, Jim, would be similar to law enforcement disorder control in terms of formation, about how to push back a crowd, and so on. But
Okay, ladies, now
what
let's
they
get
don't
information.
have, where they do have the training, what they don't have is they don't have the experience. National Guard troops
They
don't
don't
have
have the
regular experience
experience.
the way American police does, especially in the last few years, of dealing with mass protests. And, that's where you run into things that are making officials on the ground there uncomfortable, which is, we're a country that lived through Kent State in 1970, where National Guard troops opened fire on a college campus. What happens in this situation when they're on the front line? Somebody throws something from the back of the crowd, it hits somebody and they go down. So law enforcement is concerned that they have adequate resources in terms of law enforcement there, and that this is not necessarily necessary.
Yeah. And listen, the history shows just how seldom this has happened, particularly how seldom it's happened over the objections or without the explicit request of state or city officials. And you have to go all the way back, as Kyung La noted, to the civil rights protests in the mid-1960s. John Miller, I know I am able to bring you back later this hour and beyond. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to continue to keep our eyes on the situations there in LA.
With me now to discuss CNN military analyst Colonel.
See, that's what I was
Cedric
talking
Layton.
about, guys,
Colonel,
when I
good to
said
have you.
that
First question here.
they were concerned about the National Guard not being trained to
in
handle
your opinion,
protesters.
an overreaction?
And they're not.
President's authorization
And then, in addition to
deploy
that, now they
National
had
Guard
to
troops.
undergo additional training outside of combat just to be prepared for
this.
Right.
Here, and you look at the
All for
basic
optics.
situation in
It's all
Los
for
Angeles,
optics.
It is nowhere near the
But
last
but you
time
got to
the
think
federal
about it.
troops,
They
and
haven't
the
been
National
trained
Guard were
long
deployed
enough.
in Los Angeles.
They just
And
been
that's the Rodney
deployed there
King
and just do what you
situation
need to
back
do.
in the 1990s. So
They don't
the
get trained,
situation is
minion. They
completely
don't have
different. There
time.
you actually
They
had
have not been
looting, you
had
actually
enough
had
time. They were
destruction
deployed
of
right away.
property, and and the loss of life.
Mm.
In this
So
particular
you
case, you don't have
right now they
anything
tell
like
you,
that at
okay,
all,
they
and it
come here and
does
say, I want
look,
to
at least from
our
the
National
So they
Guard.
have no training.
that
It's just these
the
people,
local
the people that were
authorities
getting
in
ready for
Los
this
Angeles do
parade
have
are
this
the
under
ones
control. So it
that were
does seem like an
training
overreaction, and it seems
for
like
the
Yeah,
parade,
you
though.
heard what he said. You heard what he
federal
said. He
power
said
to
even
federalize the
turn him down
National
just a
Guard
little bit.
and bring them
You
in.
heard what he said. He
And from my
said law
understanding,
enforcement is concerned about the National Guard being here because they don't want them to make the wrong move because all they're trained to do is to push the protesters back. So if somebody throws something in the crowd, what do you think the military is going to do? They are trained to do what? Unalive people. They're not trained to handle protesters. They're not trained to arrest people. They're trained to take people out. And that's where the conflict comes in at. And that's where the concern comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they have not had any training for that. They're all, like he said, only to push them back. That's it. That's as
That's
far as
it.
they go. Protect the government building and protect the government building any way necessary, any means necessary, and to push the crowd back. That's it for them.
I'm
So
pretty sure the last time we had um, the military National Guard to protect the country or guard the country. Now they saying it was in the 1960s is when when the president launched it. But I think we had people. Do you guys remember 9/11? Did they have people back then guarding New York? I think we did. I'm not for sure because I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure that's probably the only other significant time
because
that we
because
had the
that was
National Guard. Huh?
yeah, because they had them. Yeah, we had the National Guard, the Marines, everybody was reported out because there was a terrorist attack. Unless it's a terrorist attack, for
Yeah.
just what big, insurrections here on our United States soil, no, they can't. They can't do anything.
Yeah.
If it's a threat, if a foreign country or foreign, is coming in to attack our country, yes, they have any means necessary. But
Mhm.
this right here, they're not trained for this at all.
Not at all. And they're
Not
going to
at all.
retaliate and they're going to respond the wrong way. And
Right.
that's when it's going to get ugly. And I think that's what Agent Orange is banking on. He's
And it's
banking on them to respond the wrong way. He's banking on people to act like they did when we saw that clip in New York. This is what he wants. He don't want this peaceful protest like you had in Dallas. He want them to act like the protest that we saw in New York the other night.
And the thing is, they're afraid because the military don't have rubber bullets. They have actual bullets. And they have hollow point bullets in those rifles.
Well, I'm gonna just say this.
We're gonna have to pray for the people.
We are, and that's why come I said we don't need to be out there because this is really serious business. And I kid you not when I say we don't. This this is our fight, but we don't need to be out there on the front line that way. If you want to help, you can maybe donate money, help in the background, like help them organize, take them some water, some snacks, or what have you.
Write your
But
senator or your governor or
yeah,
something.
call their
I would
phones.
protest in that kind of way.
Yeah, we need to protest behind the scenes and not out there on the front line because I'm telling you, he is waiting on us to get out there in that front line so that they can start taking people out because he know exactly what the
It ain't
military
even
is
gonna take a
trained
lot of
for.
us.
No, it's all it's gonna take is a group of us, and that's it. And I'm surprised that he didn't do that in New York, but I don't think the National Guard was launched when they did that protest in New York. You didn't see that many of them, and it could be that the governor of New York may not allow them to interact. I don't know who's. I know the federal government trumps the local government, but it doesn't seem like that they was really retaliating against the people like he want them to retaliate. Yeah, they were pushing people down, but you saw more local cops doing things more than you did the military. Because at the end of the day, we really don't want the military to retaliate because they're like
Against their
kids.
own people. They supposed to be
Yes,
defending us. And then on
yes.
top of that,
So
when they come back, see the thing is he already cut off all types of veteran benefits like Medicare
exactly. That's why they out there marching.
so you trying to get them to go against the people that's trying to fight for their rights.
And
And
we're
you got
not a third world, and we're not a third world country. So this is not what we do here in America.
Right,
Our
exactly.
military, you
It's
don't turn
not
the military against the
against
public.
right, exactly.
and you got to also think about if okay, we got all this. Okay, you got the third world war. It's mostly in two designated areas. You got a whole country that's protesting. Think
Right.
about it. We don't have enough military to be dispatched to every city in the United States that's protesting. If we
And
send
even
all the
and even if
military to
we
them,
did, it's going to become a national security issue because if they're going to be trying to handle us, then who's going to handle the rest of the world?
thank you. If somebody
Exactly.
decide they want to attack the United States and we all over and our military is spread out protecting the cities, we vulnerable.
Fighting the damn US citizens instead of
Right,
guarding the damn country.
right. Exactly what I'm saying.
Instead
And you
instead of guarding our
Protecting
territory, instead of
and protecting
protecting us from the foreign enemies, you got them fighting the people within the country, which is crazy.
it's not
Okay.
funny, but it
and you got to think
sounds
about it.
crazy.
Right now, we are more vulnerable than ever right now. But
And
have
with
you
all
thought
these
about
distractions, I wouldn't doubt that something is happening. I wouldn't
That's
doubt
in
that
the making.
Russia is in our database
Right.
in one of our databases somewhere.
And that could be because like I told you guys before, this dude is all about deflection. Look over here while I do this over there. And it could be set
Exactly.
up just for that reason so that some other country that has a dictatorship can infiltrate our government and our
What better
national
day to do it
secrets.
than today? Cause shit.
Right.
no, let me tell y'all, they've been infiltrated our system ever since Elon Musk when they took down the
Well,
generals,
yeah, you right.
the 4-star generals from their position and protect and put these two dipwits over the Department of Defense and Department of
You mean
Homeland.
dipshits? Look,
Yeah,
no, I'm
dipshit.
joking.
And you
I'm
got
joking.
you got her standing up there talking gibberish. You got the guy going out here sending stuff over over the clouds. So they getting all they want. They don't have to wait for the day.
Oh yeah, they already got everything that they wanted.
Right.
Elon, that's why he flipped
Now he gone.
Trump the bird on his way out, because he's
Yeah,
like,
I got all I want. They got what they want. I'm done. You
see,
on
but
your
he
own.
wasn't thinking that Trump was gonna waive them government contracts over his head. See, he thought he got all the information.
When was this video? One of our subscribers want to know when the video was made.
This
The
one
one
that
that
we're
we just
watching
watched. Yeah,
5 days ago.
5 days ago. But at the end of the day,
But I'm letting you know, think about this. He already got everything he want. What contracts? He done got the money. He done went and proved. They told you they done approved all his government contracts. He talking about pulling them. He done got the money.
but at the end of the day, guys, everybody's concerned about Russia, and China is the one that we need to be concerned about because that's who he got contracts with also. That's
Right.
where he's trying to do his EV market. That's where he's been traveling, titter-tattling back and forth to. And that's who he's making deals with at this
Trump
point.
is so stupid because China is a silent killer.
There you go.
They ain't gonna tell you nothing.
No, China is. Let me tell you like this: China is the heart attack. Russia is the stroke. And they already making deals. While he wasn't in office, they were making deals while his dumb was
Together,
talking to him.
right?
He was talking to them when Biden was in office. He was talking to both of them. So that now they done teamed up. So now Trump is in here. They was like, "Oh, we got dummy in here. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Come on, what were we talking about?"
And they forming alliances against us.
It's deeper
Right.
than that, though. We making it sound very casual, but I think that the way that these governments are moving, it gives me very much like in the movies, how you have these secret operations that's taking place that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean,
wait a minute. You know that he removed the CIA and the FBI from overseas.
Wow.
The undercover
I
ones.
didn't know that. Now that's something new for me.
The undercover ones. When he got in office, when he started cutting back
so
on
he
the
don't want us to know
what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. You
So-
see, so I'm telling y'all, this is really big. Like,
And everybody keep worrying about what's going on in the United States.
just imagine Qatar. They gave us a $400 million plane. He gonna be out of office. I think one of you guys has said this. Who gonna have to pay that debt back?
We do.
We got to pay for
They're
all
not
of this. We're paying. We're
But not
paying.
paid like that though, because they claim it's a gift.
Yeah, but
It's
but
gonna
but
be a
at the end of the day,
favor.
at the
Wait a
end of
minute.
the day, they got to go in there and gut everything out, check everything for security, and they said that would cost millions of dollars, and it would take a lot of time. He will be out of office
Up to $1
before they can
billion.
sweep that whole plane and make sure that they're not in there trying to steal our secrets. But at the end of the day, we're paying this dude. We got this dude in office taking our tax dollars to retaliate against its own citizens. Make that make sense.
We paying the military to go against us.
And you know
That
what?
part.
And look, and this is this other sad part. We all worried about what Trump doing. Y'all forget about J.D. Vance. He's buying up all the farmlands. And he's putting the white South Africans on them farmlands.
So they ain't gonna need us black people no more. They gonna just go to the white Afrikaners.
Didn't I just tell you that? Didn't I just tell you they was just trying to eliminate us? The Spanish people are first, and then who do you think is next in line? He already trying to get rid of everything black, all the historic museums, messing
This
with
is a
Harvard,
genocide to the black
DEI.
community.
All
They
of this is against us.
they doing exactly
They
what South
really want
Africa
us
did to
out of the
Africa.
country. They're not the majority, they're the minority, and they're trying to stack up their playing field, is basically what they're trying to do.
They bring it over the same people that did the same thing to Africa. And now JD Vance, and it's an article, you can Google it, as our old friend used to say, look it up. You can Google it and see that he bought up, he got a company, I forgot the name of the company, that he's bought, and he started putting some of the South Africans on that land, and the ones that's coming, still coming over here. Everybody's like, oh, ain't nobody coming. Y'all don't know that these people are still coming over here. We so busy worried about the Hispanics and what they doing. They bring it, the South Africans to come over here almost every day.
And this dude been in office 5 months.
Right.
5 months, and all of this destruction. It's like you tore America up in 5 good months, and America just don't have enough time. That they need to impeach him today before and even what he's the destruction that he's already caused will take us at least a decade or two to put back together. And I can guarantee you a lot of this stuff that he's doing is setting precedents. And just like anything else, like Americans are waiting on the cost to go down. A lot of times you're waiting on the housing. Nothing is going to go down. It's all going to stay the same.
It's going to get
And what
higher.
they do is they move the needle. And so
No, it's
once the
going to get
needle
higher.
is moved, it's not going to go back to what you think it's going to go back to. You waiting on everything to go back down. It's not going to go back down. It's going to stay it's going to be status quo. And then you're just going to start where it's at right now. And so whatever you're paying for eggs or whatever, they're not ever going back down to $4 or $5 or $3. They're not going down. They're going to stay at this price. Because another thing, you're allowing all these corporations to really just take advantage of the public, okay? Because prices don't have to be this high. Right now, the ports and everything are, the ports are a little bit emptier than what they used to be, but we're still getting goods in. We're still, we're still functioning as a country. But once those ports start emptying up, once China just say, no, we're not, we're going to put these tariffs on y'all, because they've already implemented a 10% tariff on us, which is going to make our prices stay at the price that they are now. So nothing, and these corporations are price gouging. They're price gouging us.
Look, I looked at it. They did a news report. They did a report on California, where the shipping yard is. There's
Yes.
nothing going to China. It's going everywhere else but China. China ain't taking none of our goods.
And they're not sending us no goods either. Because
No.
keep in mind, most
No,
things
they're
in
doing it
America,
through. They're doing it. They're sending their stuff through other ports and bringing it through.
but at the end of the day, guys, the reason why we have low prices is because of China.
Mm-hmm.
Because they make everything in China. And
So
look how
they're going to go back up.
look how they expose the designers, letting everybody know y'all paying all this money just for a name. We
That's
making
it.
it over here, then we send it to their different countries, and then they slap a label on it and say it's a designer. When they
Mm-hmm.
getting pennies and they're paying pennies on the dollar for the merchandise, and they're making you pay 100 times or 200 times more,
500.
500 or 600 times more of what the product actually costs them.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, that's why look, I've been told, are you too deep? Are you too deep? You too deep. You need to worry about God. God. Okay, look, God gave me common sense. If I depend on God to think for me for everything, then why he give me a brain?
Right. I've said that before too. He gave us 5 senses, and we should use them. We do not have to bother God for every little bit of problem that we have in our life. Some things we can handle on our own, and we don't have to have God to intervene for everything.
People be trying to use God for a scapegoat.
Right.
Exactly. You
Right.
think, okay, you need to be praying to God. God is not a magician. Please stop using it.
He gave me these eyes, and he gave me these ears, and he
And
gave me
God
this
is
brain.
the same God that allowed the flood to come in and wipe a
Right.
whole land of people away because they were disobedient to his word. So,
And
you know,
Sodom and Gomorrah got burnt down.
there
He
you
allowed
go.
that to happen.
There you
Wait,
go. He
and
allowed
they
a lot
don't
of things.
know.
He even allowed Jesus
His
to go
own
to the cross.
son.
He allowed
Hello.
Jesus to go to the cross and get nailed up on the cross.
So it's common sense, y'all. You know, I don't worry about nothing because God gonna hold me. I didn't say worry about, don't worry about it, but you need to be prepared. Then say sit
Right.
back, just say, okay, God, I depend on you, and I just sit there.
Being vigilant and prepared is not the same thing as being worried.
Right.
If you prepare yourself, you don't have to be worried.
And you want
See, the
you
thing
stay,
is, y'all want to
yeah,
stay in
if you stay
blissful
ready,
ignorance.
if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
People want to stay in blissful ignorance, thinking that it don't affect them as long as it's not affecting them. But then at some point, it will affect you, and
Well,
then
how do you think Hitler was able to commit the genocide that he did?
exactly,
In Germany,
people
because
turn
people were complacent.
right. They turned the other way, because they didn't want to get involved. That was too stressful, probably, to think about and have to deal with. They was too content in their little lives.
And now how do you think the colonials took over the United States the way they did? Because the Indians got complacent.
And also, people just it's not gonna happen to us, but it's happening to you.
Right. No, you got that's those people that says, it don't
Trump
bother
gonna
me.
lower our prices, and then they go up.
You know how
Well,
you
we
meet
just
somebody.
gotta what?
You know how you meet somebody and you tell them blah blah blah, and they stand there and they look at you and know you right, and they sit back and say, "Until I see it, I ain't worried about it. Until I see it." Okay, then when it happened to them, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Oh, now you want to hear me?
So yeah, that's just how people are, though. I don't know why. I had somebody from the live that we did the other day. Someone in my chat said that because we don't live in Harvey, and because that person that came on our live show and Ryan did live in Illinois, that's who we should be listening to, and that something else, and that it was just common sense that I guess you should listen to the people who live there. But I was like, have you not seen what this person has done?
In front of your eyeballs.
Right, bringing weapons with her to meetings and just
But we had him on the show, so what make that person feel like we're not listening to him? Because if we weren't listening to him, I don't think we would have had him as a guest on the show. I don't think he would have been
Well,
up
we
here
definitely
posted
are
with
listening
us.
to Ryan, but I
Right.
mean, other people who come out and speak, just because they live in that location doesn't mean that they know what's best for the place that they live either.
And it
then you
doesn't
got
mean that
some
they're
people.
and it also don't mean that they're involved, because
Right.
everybody is not involved in their communities.
And it don't
Right.
mean that, and the damn show don't mean that they're right.
And at
Right.
the end of the day, we let's keep it real. Let's just keep it real. We are the most low voting
Demographic of people.
demographic of people that votes, and that's why come a lot of this stuff happens. That's why our communities look like they look, because nobody nobody take the time to vote. And the main thing I hear is, well, they gonna do what they want to do anyway. Well, they won't do what they want to do if you make them do. You have to make these politicians do what they're supposed to do. But if
Well,
you're not
just
gonna
like they do.
complain,
No, what it
And I'm
is
guilty.
as long as they
I
can
was
do what
guilty.
they want to do, they are okay with it. As long as they can live their what do you call it? It's not even mediocre. It's just like what their subpar life. As
right?
long as they can do their daily routine of doing nothing, and no one interferes with that, they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was guilty. And I'm listening to him because I was guilty of that. I was until I started really watching Tiffany and seeing what she was doing and what they was going through. I started being more aware of my surrounding, where I live at. What is my politicians doing?
When
Because before I was sitting back going, hey, they're gonna do what they want to do. It ain't gonna affect me. As long as I pay my rent and lay up in here, that's on them. But then I realize now it's on me.
It is, right. Me too. Same. I had to learn that as well. But then at the same time, you know, when you go to affluent neighborhoods, you don't see people just sitting outside the corner stores all day. The same people. Like, you don't have nothing else better to do with your life.
They don't. They don't. And like I remember when me and you was talking yesterday, I said there are so many of us that don't know our rights. You know,
So
people.
since you sitting out here all day, why don't you clean up all the trash on the outside of this building then? You know, make yourself useful.
Look. I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave.
I'm talking
That's
about the people that be sitting outside the
That's what I'm
grocery
talking about.
store.
That's what they think. I ain't no slave. That
Oh
ain't my
yeah.
problem. I ain't put it down there. I pick up what I put. Look, I pick up my trash. That's their trash. That's their problem. That's the store problem. That ain't my problem. You know, that's just like in your community. You
Right.
you walk out
That's
your
their
door.
house. Why I'ma help them?
Look, they got mad at me. They got mad at me when I stayed in this apartment and stayed in an apartment in Charlotte. They didn't like me. They used to get mad at me. I said, look, I understand I'm a smoker, but I don't put my butts out here. What make you think you want to put your cigarette butts on my grass
Right.
in front of my apartment?
Definitely don't put
Pick it
your
up.
cigarette butts on my grass.
Right. If I'm a smoker, I smoke, you smoke. You have came to me for a cigarette. So if you don't see butts on my ground when I'm a smoker, you know it. Why would you want to do it on mine? You right, you right. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
you
people don't our
they
people
don't
don't
think.
have no respect for their stuff or anybody else's.
And people throw and the thing that gets me is when people throw stuff out the car and throw it in your yard.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got to do better. I mean, we can talk all day about the administration and the other people who can oppress us or who we feel like are oppressing us, but we do have a lot of work to do amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we got to
right.
help ourselves first.
And like I
Mhm.
said, I was guilty. I was one that would sit back and say it didn't affect me. They're gonna do what they want to do. Now look, I'm in that situation. I'm glad because I watched what happened with Tiffany, because I was involved with what was going on with Dalton in the township, and I started learning about local law. Now federal government law, I can tell you all day, every day, but local law, I didn't know. So now I'm learning a lot about local law that I start paying attention to my own local law.
Well, it must be something wrong with me because I've been Black Pantherish since I was 18 for whatever reason. And I've always paid attention to my community. I've always spoke up about our community. And I've always tried to be involved the best way that I could as far as politics go.
Now,
For two of the presidential elections, I did phone banks to try to help them get elected. I've
right.
sent in, contributions, and you don't have to do a lot because everybody can't go out there in March. A lot of people, you heard them say, well, we haven't seen any ambulances out. So a lot of people not even conditioned to go out there in March, but it's a lot of other different ways that you can get involved in your community, and you can just be sitting right inside your house and do it.
And do you
Yeah.
know how many people don't know okay. Our community, our democratic community, don't know a lot of things that can help them in their time of need. They only know about the food stamps, the clothing, this, but they don't know how to get free medication. And if they get into the donut hole with the insurance, they don't know nothing about the laws with the rent. You know, if a person come up and threaten to put you out, you have rights. You could take your money down to the landlord tenant court and say, I'm not paying you another dime until you fix up what's supposed to be fixed up here. But I tell you beforehand, document everything. If you called that person in January, they came in here and did a little patchwork and walked out, say it's working now. Three weeks later, it's right back out. It's not working again. You call the rental office, they come the next month, do the same thing. Document it. Who you talked to, what time you called them, who was the one that came, who was the one that left, blah blah blah. Document everything. So if you got to a point that you're tired of it, take your money down there, take the documentation down there, prove to them because something you want to speak to the inspector general, and you want your apartment inspected, and you want to put your money in escrow in the courthouse. the rent will be paid, but the landlord can't get the money until
Oh,
he
I
pays the rent.
guarantee you they're not gonna do that because what we do is we'll just keep our money and say, well, we ain't gotta pay no rent.
Right, that's how we handle it, but that's not the right way to do it.
Not
And
not
that's
the
why
right
our
way to.
people need to know how to do the things and do them the right way. Because another thing, we can learn how to do the right thing and we still choose to do the
The wrong.
easiest
Right.
thing.
The
Right.
And
easiest
then they say,
thing.
"Oh, I'm not gonna pay my rent." Okay, you getting evicted. But if you
Right.
put your rent down there in the courthouse, it's documented that your rent was paid. The landlord can't come get that money until the court see that that everything was necessarily done. Once it's
Right.
court, once the judge see that it was necessary done and it was to the inspector's approval, then they can get their money.
Yeah, but we won't take that route though.
But see, that's the problem. And then you sit back, I'm on the street, I'm homeless. My apartment was this way, my apartment was that way.
They
Did you?
wouldn't do nothing to
You
fix it.
look
They
look
wouldn't do
look look
nothing.
you at the judge you in court pleading to the judge, man, hell no, I ain't paid them no rent. They ain't fixed my shit in like 6 months. I kept going to them. Didn't I? I'm like, man, did you go through the process? Did you go through the process?
And the
Oh,
judge gonna be ignorant of the law. It's not an excuse.
right,
And
exactly.
and excuses are like a-holes. Everybody has one.
But I
And then
will tell you this: the good news out of this is that you get 30 days to get out that house. Good day.
Okay, good.
uh,
That's
uh,
the
uh,
Or
uh,
that
uh,
that's
uh,
that's
uh,
however
that's
long they
not in
give
an
you,
apartment. You
however long
don't
they
not
give
in,
you.
if you're
uh,
in a
uh, uh,
home, but not in an apartment. In an apartment, they can evict you within 5 days.
Oh Lord.
no, no, depends on the law of that state. You got
Okay.
30 days. Some of them got 15 days. And a house, if you're in a house in certain states, they call it quickie evict. You got to get out there in 5 days.
Oh wow.
So it
And a lot of
depends
these
on the
states
state.
are changing their laws because of squatters.
Right. So
To
it's,
hurry up and to expedite the process.
yep. Says 30 days in certain states, it's 30 days for
Yeah,
apartment.
because these squatters are taking over.
I just
And,
saw Texas and Georgia just change their laws to
Texas
get
made
rid
it
of. Go ahead.
before. Texas had it easy for squatters to actually even pursue eminent domain.
Right.
and Illinois too. Illinois just
Oh
changed
wait,
theirs.
is that eminent? No, not eminent domain. What do you where you go squat and you legally take possession of the house, but you do it
Mm.
outwardly where everybody can see it?
Yeah, squatters' rights.
And see, the thing is, a lot of people don't know their rights. They don't know their renters' rights. They don't take time out
They
to.
don't care about what the renter's rights are. Cause let's just be honest, if you wanted to do the right thing, you can Google it. It's really that simple.
Uh, like I said, depends on the state, depends on the lease, and what they put in the lease. Everybody, you have the month to month, you have the year to year, and some of them have 2 years. See, you got to look at what the laws is and what the lease say. They can have the law, but they can whatever that landlord say or what he has on that
And the
lease.
lease and that what they
Mm-hmm.
agreed to
Right.
Exactly.
It's not
is what
Whatever you
whatever you
signed your
signed your
name on the
name to
dotted
is what
line
you
for.
agreed to, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to read the lease and the conditions of the lease.
now
But
I can Google and it says, okay, they got 30 days to kick you out, but if on the lease it said they got up to 15 days to put you out. And you agreed to it.
Because it's what a contract.
well,
Right.
no, I mean when the talk now, I'm not talking about uh in terms of well, I guess that is the same thing because I'm talking about the process. So you can learn the process. All you have to do is Google what you need to do in that state to be able to, like, if you're having problems with your landlord not fixing stuff.
Right. That's just like me when I lived in North Carolina, and they told us that they got mad at our the department that worked in. They told us they won't go give us our lunch and our break. So I called the labor board. They told me they have breaks and a lunch was a privilege unless you were a major corporation. If you wasn't a corporation, you were just a business like a
Contractor.
no, a business. If you like, say you got a gas station or Chick-fil-A, they don't have to give you a break. They can work you 8 hours straight. because they're not a corporation.
Wait, is that how it is out there in DC?
No, that's in North Carolina. That's why I
Baby,
said
that's right here in Texas. This is a This is a right to
the
work
right to work.
state. That's
Mhm.
mostly in
But
the South, and unless you have a union,
Right.
no, that's not true because in the state of Texas, we are required. You're required to give if you work for at least 12 hours, you're required to have at least a 30-minute break or something like that. No,
okay,
6 hours. 6 hours. If you work 6 hours, you're required to have a 30-minute break.
That depends on the company. If that company don't want to do that,
No, that's Texas law. Like you cannot.
look up the work. Look up. What did you said again? Rights to work.
right to work state in Texas. I'm tell you what Google say. There is no state law requiring employers to provide a meal, rest break, even for a 4-hour shift. It's a courtesy. I mean, that's what I've been trying to tell you. It's a courtesy. They don't have to.
Well, they told us that.
They say let me tell you what it say. The Fair Labor Standards Act, which Texas generally adheres to, also do not mandate breaks. However, some cities in Texas may have their own ordinances, and individual employees can choose to offer breaks as part of their policies. But by law, they don't have to, Minion.
By law, they told us that it was by law that because if we had agents that wanted to stay over, because sometimes they have unlimited overtime available, they would tell you that they cannot.
How many people work at your company?
But also too, if you have a union,
nationwide company, so
but if you have a union, it's a
said.
different story. If it's a union, that's a different story because the union do a contract and they put that into the union agreement. But
And
if it's
also,
just
if
a
it's a
regular
major
corporation, they don't have to.
Now, if it's a corporation in North Carolina and South Carolina, it's a corporation like you said, is nationwide. Yeah, they have to. But if it's a local, state business,
like a small business, like just a gas station.
Right, they don't have to give you not one break. You can work 8 hours straight.
Oh
It's
hell no!
It's a privilege.
That's mainly in the South. They work to their right to work states.
Yeah, that's why they call it the right to work states. That's what the lady told me. It's the right to work state. South Carolina and North Carolina. North Carolina is more lenient than South Carolina. South Carolina is worse.
Now, the reason why they do that is because they want employees to work and they know people are not going to work like they, work a straight shift without any type of break. But it has here. Texas law do not mandate
Okay, so it does say
or
in
rest break for
Texas.
employees, regardless of the length of the shift. Now, Google it, look it up.
I know it says you are entitled though to a 10-minute paid rest break for every 4 hours of work. Is what according to OSHA.com.
But that's OSHA. That's OSHA, but not in the South. Only if the city have an ordinance. If the city don't have an ordinance, they don't have to do that. They only do that because they know they're not going to have many workers. Not most people are not going to work without a break or a lunch. But it is a courtesy. It is not the law. The law say that they don't have to do it. They're only doing it to keep you working.
Well, yeah, because it does say you are entitled to a 10-minute paid rest break for every 4 minutes of work. 4 hours of work. A 30-minute meal break is generally required after 5 hours of work, but this can still be waived if the workday is 6 hours or less. Okay, I guess this is information from OSHA.
Right, that's OSHA.
That's
OSHA.
OSHA.
If that company don't have OSHA and does not go under OSHA's guidelines, it don't apply.
I want you to look up Texas right to work laws. Look that up. The Fair Labor Standards in Texas. Look that up, and it'll tell you exactly what I'm saying.
So tell me this, because I just can't see that this being something that would play out in court in the company's favor. You're telling me.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. If the city don't
If they're
mandate
not,
it,
but only if they're not associated with like OSHA or I mean, what are you guys saying? Because I'm not understanding.
everybody's associated with OSHA. But I just told you, if the city have an ordinance, if the city didn't vote on it, then they don't have to. Look it up. Look it up in Google. Look up Texas right to work state in
Let's
the
see.
law. Look up look up in Texas. Do you have to have a break after so many hours? And it'll tell you what the law is. The law
For that state. That's
for
why I
that
say
state. Everything. That's
every
why they always talking about state law, state law, state law.
because all government, I thought because it was a government law. No, they said it's only if it's a corporation the federal government laws apply. But if it's not a corporation, no, it's statewide. Then they under the state law. They get a state license, and you go by what your state tell you to do.
But they do it as a courtesy because they
Yep.
want employees because they already know.
And if they can,
They're
and
not,
if
not
they can
they're
back,
not gonna get many workers if they're not gonna give them a break. And they'll tell you, we provide you with a break. We provide you with a 15-minute break we provide you with a lunch, but we don't have to provide and have to is two different words.
and they tell you, the lady told me, she said it's a privilege for them to give you a break and a lunch. If you're not a major corporation and you don't have, I forget how many people that work for that company. If that company is under that guideline, then you go by the state law, which means you don't get no breaks.
And if they don't want to,
So exactly.
it's all a courtesy.
And see, that's the thing that people don't realize. They think, oh, it applies here. My cousin found out the hard way.
So how I was about to say, how does one get into a position where they're employed and they're not entitled to a break? I don't understand how that can happen.
Look, if
They
you
just not exercising that. Once
if I go
again,
right now to North Carolina, I need a job bad. I want to keep my house or my apartment where I live at. I'm gonna take a job. Okay, this job tells me there's no breaks, there's no lunch, but I need the money. I don't have time. I need to find a job right away. I'm gonna take that job. That's how you end up in that position.
Mm.
And so
'Cause I would
and
only imagine that if there's a job that's not paying you breaks, it would only be because the job can't afford to.
well, let's put it like this: when you do most home health care companies, you don't get a lunch break. You don't get a
But see, that makes
15-minute
sense because if you're in a contract work, a lot of contractors don't get paid for their breaks either.
break.
Like if you're doing contract work, you just got to clock out and you clock back in when you ready to get paid again. But I just don't understand an employee not being entitled to a
They're
break.
not entitled. I keep telling you, it's not an entitlement.
They are entitled.
It's not. It's a courtesy.
They
Minnie.
are entitled.
Okay. Well, I guess you're not looking at Google.
But I'm
then.
looking through.
Look
No,
at
they're
Google.
entitled to one if they're
No, they're
working
not.
through certain programs. Because it says clear as day here that they're entitled to a 10-minute break if they're working over 4 hours.
Well, I'm looking
Now,
at I'm
that's
looking at
Google.
something. I'm looking at something right now that say Texas law has one provision for breaks, and it is to provide employees with at least a 24-hour rest period every 7 days. Now I'm looking at Google.
Well,
This is
so
what
that
Google
means
said.
that within but let's dissect that because then that means within 7 days, they would have had to take a break for what?
At least one.
At least one break
Right.
over 7 days. They would have to have. So if they're working a total of 7 days, they have to have at least one day off, is basically what
That's
they're
right.
saying.
And what it's saying is, it is not illegal to work 8 hours without a break in Texas. Texas labor laws do not mandate meals or rest breaks for adult employees. Employers are not required to provide any specific break, including lunch break, during an 8-hour shift. While Texas law doesn't require breaks, many employees choose to offer them as a matter of policy
Where are you
or
finding
custom.
this? Because I do not see that.
I highlight the
Look
link.
at is it legal to work 8 hours? Put that question in there, and AI will tell you what it is. Is it
Okay.
legal to work 8 hours in Texas without a break? And it'll give you the same information because
Okay, so it just gives you different answers. Because I put, are you required to have a break after working more than 6 hours in Texas? And it
No.
put, in Texas, if you work 6 hours, you are not required to have a meal break. However, you are entitled to a 10-minute paid rest break for every 4 hours of work. According to OSHA.com, a 30-minute meal break is required for shifts longer than 5 hours, but
But you
this
keep
can be
going to
waived by
but
mutual
you
agreement
keep
for
going to
shifts.
OSHA. You keep going to OSHA.
I'm not going to OSHA. This is Google. This is what
Okay.
Google puts up,
But,
the
but
AI overview.
that's why I was telling you, it depends on the state. If it's a corporation, the word is corporation, and they have so many people, then they have to, by federal law, to give you those 10-minute breaks and 30 or 15-minute lunch break. But if it's a company, a small company, they don't have to give you diddly squat.
But this is what they do have to do. They do have to actually
They don't even have to give you a day off. They told me that too. You don't have to give you a day off. They could work
but
you
that's
6.
but this, let's be very clear. This is only if you agree to these terms once you work with them. But if whatever they have in the terms of their employment, it says that you get a break, then you are entitled to the break.
Right.
And they are legally required to give you the break.
Right. And that's why she was saying, if that company offer it, if that company do not offer it, you ain't got no prayer.
Okay, so I mean, I get that. That's fine. So if you're looking for employment and they tell you that they don't offer breaks, you can't then say, well, that's illegal. You have to offer a break.
Exactly.
Right. So that makes sense.
It's all a courtesy. It's all a courtesy.
That makes sense. But if it's
they
in the
choose to.
but if you're signing your employment paperwork and it says that each shift comes with what a such and such break, that whatever the case may be, and that's what you sign off to, then by law they would be required to adhere to that agreement.
Right. If they say they give you 10-minute break and a 15-minute lunch break, they give you one 10-minute break, one 15-minute lunch break. That's it. It's up to you if you want to sign that paper and agree to it and get the employment.
Right.
If you decide that you don't want to do
But
that,
that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, if it's not where as
but
they
and then they could change it in the middle of that. They could get you to say, okay, we don't have to. I said, well, we signed the paper. They're supposed to give us 15-minute breaks and 30-minute lunch break. Hour. They was giving us hour lunch break. She said, don't matter if they change the contract and present it to the labor board, and the labor board accepts it, it's law by that company in the middle of your contract. They can void the first one and issue another one. You already employed. What you gonna do? Walk off?
But wait a minute, hold on. And you not sign it, or you don't have to even know about it?
You employed with them. You already employed. You signed the first contract. They can amend the first contract and you don't have to sign it.
But if they amend the contract, I mean, you would still have to.
Some states, that's why I
How
keep
would
saying
they be able to amend it without even notifying you of anything?
as long as they inform the labor board.
The labor board approves it. So if the labor board approves it,
there's nothing you can say.
And normally they'll give you a training on we changed the company policies. They send emails, they do trainings, and they let you know.
But I'm saying, I think that if you're amending something onto a signed contract, there would have to be some type of notice.
No, they give you a notice due to financial due to this, just like when I worked for Homeland Security and I was working a contract job before I became an actual federal employee. The contract, they changed our insurance in the middle of it while we were working there. We had this one insurance. Before we know it, they done changed the insurance on us and we had no say about it.
Unless it's a union.
Now, when they changed insurance policy, I mean, well, we had a whole bunch of different ones, but I mean, I think that I don't know. I don't know. I guess I
I
could.
think you should do a little bit more research on it and really
Because it
look
may
it
I
up.
mean,
So you,
I would never accept a job without a break. So
I mean, I
it
wouldn't
is
either,
something
but
that would ever affect
I
me.
just want to make sure that I let the, since
we
we're on a
letting it.
public platform, we're just trying to tell you what the laws are, and we're just trying to tell you what Google say, and it's all a courtesy if you in a right to work state. That's not
Right.
happening all over the United States. It's mostly predominantly in the South, and most
Right.
southern states are right to work states.
But I
States.
think that explanation it requires a little bit more context because then it makes it seem like whether or not you're signed under a contract or not, if you work in Texas, if they don't give you a break, you have no legal recourse.
That's
And I don't
exactly
think
what it's
that,
saying.
but
That's
I don't think
exactly
that
what we're
that's
saying.
but that's
That's what
not
we're trying to tell you because it's a state of Texas. That's their law.
but what I'm saying is if there is a contract that you have between your employer and yourself that indicates certain things like how long your breaks are going to be or specific time frame, I think
If
that they're still
if
going to be beholden to that by the law.
right, if they, that's what we say. If they offer it, but you might get a company that don't offer it, and there's a lot of people out here that work in jobs that don't offer breaks, don't offer lunch, and they need the money, and they got to survive. They got a family to take care of, and
Now,
that's
I
why.
mean, those are unfortunate events, and people still do need to be aware of what their rights are if they are put in those
But
situations.
Minion, I'm looking at OSHA.com right now. It say, what are the national OSHA break law requirements for workplaces? OSHA mission is to safeguard workers' safety and health. To date, they've never set requirements for meal or rest breaks because they don't consider it a workplace safety issue. However, they do require employers to give workers the opportunity to drink water and to go to the bathroom and have a safe sanitary facility for both nearby.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's under the OSHA.com.
And that's federal government.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
I'm not trying to. I'm not. It doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, I'm not going to accept a job that doesn't have it. But it says right here, guys, in Texas, if you work 6 hours, you are not required to have a meal break. However, you are entitled to a 10-minute paid rest break for every 4 hours of work. According to OSHA.com, a 30-minute meal break is required for shifts longer than 5 hours, but this can be waived by mutual agreement for shifts of 6 hours or less. Here is a more detailed breakdown.
And it's waived. It can be waived. So he's telling you that company don't have to do it.
Look, what I'm saying is that's true. Okay, so if you're not agreeing to a break, if you agree to no break when you go on to an employer, or if that's not a conversation that you guys have, and you sign no paperwork with any indication of a break schedule on it, then it makes sense that you got what you guys are saying. You're just out of luck. You're shit out of luck. But if you are signing a contract with a company and they are specifying your schedule, because if you don't adhere to your schedule, you're also outside, you're breaching your contract. If you don't adhere to your schedule, including breaks and lunches, those are things that you're entitled to have those.
But when I went to the labor board, they told me the company has the right to take your breaks and lunch if they deem necessary. I still didn't have no rights, and I signed a contract. We was getting 15-minute breaks, 2 of them, and the 30 minutes lunch. They took one of our breaks and cut our lunch down to 30 minutes.
But
And
what I'm
they can do that. They can do that. Not all, but when I worked for a corporation, they couldn't do that because they had so many people. This is what the labor board told me while I was sitting in their office. And I said, oh, so I don't have no rights. I'm at the mercy of them. She said, basically, This is the laws in the state of North Carolina and South Carolina. She said South Carolina is worse. You don't really have no breaks, hardly have no breaks and stuff in South Carolina unless you with a corporation. Companies don't give you none at all in South Carolina. Majority of the companies in South Carolina don't give you none.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. There's, if you're working for somebody, you're kind of beholden to what their rules are. And that makes sense. That's the reason
Right.
why you pretty much want to work for yourself. But, you
But say,
know,
when you sit back and you got people out here that's trying to survive, you're gonna take what you can and you just try to do the best till you can find something else. So in the meantime, you at their mercy.
yeah, but I mean, even if you're working, you still, the end goal shouldn't
Now I could go
be,
right here. I could go right out the door here, get a job at McDonald's, work 4 hours and get a break. Within that 4 hours, I got a break, or 8 hours, 6 hours. But in North Carolina, I could work McDonald's, don't get no break.
yeah, that's madness. That's madness.
That's why I'm saying each state, every location is different. I'm thinking because it's a law, I'm thinking that's how it affects down there. But when I got down there and started working down there, I found out things are different.
And trust me, the South is different all the way around.
All
They
around.
operate within the way they want to. To me,
Mm-hmm.
even cities in the South operate the way that they
They
want to.
were.
Like you can get away with stuff in Dallas that you can't even get away with stuff with in the Panhandle. And that's
Right.
just what it is, what it is. And that's the way they want it. That's why you hear these politicians always talking about it's a state right, it's a state right. That's why you have the AB in some states illegal, that's legal, and some and all up and down the South is illegal to
And
get rid of a child.
that's
And
a
that's the way that they want it. They want it where they can have more control. They can tell
mm-hmm.
you what to do, and they can
Mm-hmm.
do what they want to do because that's why they always call that's why they
That
harp
will.
on state rights.
Yeah, they at will. And see, just like when I moved to North Carolina and I was on the eastern part of North Carolina, I couldn't get a job. But when I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, I got a job with a snap of the finger
But
with
you
my
had to
qualification.
deal with
See, on the eastern part, I had too much qualification. I was overqualified.
oh, so they
They
thought
would
it's going to pay you too much.
not only pay me, I'll be over most of the people their head.
Right. Right.
So, but when I got to Charlotte, I didn't have that problem because most of the people that was doing the job I was doing was around in the same, they had the same skills and the knowledge that I had. In the eastern part of North Carolina, they don't know nothing about no NCIC. But when I went over to Charlotte, their police department know about the NCIC system. That's how I was able to get the job. But I couldn't get a job on the eastern part because they don't have an NCIC system. Only the state of Raleigh and the city of Raleigh, Durham don't even have the NCIC. The city of Raleigh and the city of Charlotte was the only two cities in the eastern part in North Carolina that know about the NCIC system. That's why you have so many states. You know how the police get fired from one city and go to another one because they don't have the NCIC system. The NCI
Mm.
system communicates with
It's like
all the police.
telecheck.
Right. It communicates with all the police departments. But because they don't have the NCIC system, that police officer, they're just going to do a
They
regular
can go
background
in, right,
or a regular
and
background
slip
check,
in.
and they got another job.
Wow. So I wonder if they ask that question, how they know which places don't have that system.
Oh, that's easy. I knew it. I went down there and found out they didn't have it because you could tell it because NCIC when they do a background check, that's the first thing they do. They use the NCIC system. That's going to tell them wherever you worked at as a police officer, anything that deal with law enforcement, and where you worked at as a law enforcement, and what was your record like. Because the NCIC system hit every major state's main hub. They don't have them in the local cities. Dalton police department don't have that. Harvey, none of those little small towns, none of them little small cities have anything. If right now, if I go up and talk to the chief of police right there in Harvey and say, I said, y'all got the NCIC system, he'll look at me like I'm speaking
What the
Spanish.
hell is that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think
So it's
that
so many laws and so many things. That's why I was saying when it comes to the federal government, I can tell you all day, every day. But when it comes to these local laws,
I don't really see a problem though with people not being able to force I mean, I don't see a problem with the government not forcing jobs to give breaks. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that as
I
long
do. I do because if you leave it to the state and they doing what they're doing, the right to work state, they can do what the hell they want to do to
Well, what
you
I
as
was
their
gonna
employee.
say, what I was gonna say is it depends on, if you're a corporation, I think that everything should be different, like how you said that is. But I mean,
Mhm.
if you're a small business, I mean, you got to have some type of leverage, and you can't be paying people. You may not be able to afford to pay people for not working.
You can afford it. They can't afford it.
They
Take my
can
word.
they can log out or they can clock out and take a break and clock back in.
Right, but they're not gonna give you that. They don't care. They want you on the clock. They want you to make that money. That all they worry about is the money. They're gonna give a raspatootie if you hurting. Unless you fall out on the floor or you so sick that they got to get the ambulance to come get you, then they consider your health. Then if you feel like they feel that you're too sick, they let you go. And they don't even and then some companies don't even have to give you a reason why they let you go. They just you walk in the door and say you no longer needed. That's it.
That's
Mm.
how Texas is, ain't it?
Yeah. So,
That's why we
any right to work state mean the state, the employer have all the benefits, and
right.
That's why
they can do what they want to do, and if you want to work there and you want to follow their laws, it's up to you. You don't have to work there, but they don't have to do a lot of things also, and that's why they make it a right to work state. But
And then some of them don't offer you
So what
insurance.
is so what is
They have the
what
right to
is
not offer you insurance.
California? What is California?
I guarantee you it's not a right to work state. Let me check
It's
and
not.
see.
No.
I'll
'Cause
check and see what it is.
they what the second largest economy, so we need to mirror that whatever
No. They got way into compliances and ordinance.
oh
I mean, you wouldn't even be able to use your cell phone if you were in California, and everything is so expensive because they have so many different laws
regulation.
and regulations. Yeah, when I worked for the corporation
26
that I
states. It's
when
26
I
states in the United States that has the right to work. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho,
Texas,
South.
all the South.
Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana,
South.
Mississippi,
Oh
Nebraska,
Lord.
Nevada, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. 26 states is the
So
right
a
to
little
work.
over half or half the states.
Half of
Yeah.
the United States, but California say that they're often required to join or pay union dues. So
Right,
California, most of the time when you go work for them, it's under union.
right. And
Mm.
see, these
And
are
private
those
employees can negotiate union security agreements that require employees to join or pay union dues.
And they said these laws prevent employers from requiring union membership or the payment of union dues as a condition of employment.
And one of our supporters said that, like here now, 15 and 16-year-olds can work overnight in Florida.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
And that's the
Yeah.
same in North Carolina and South
That's
And,
Carolina.
crazy.
and then they did that in Iowa also because they're getting rid of the immigrants, and
Do they have a do
now
they
these
have
southern states are trying to make it where the kids can work.
Yep.
I know the minimum wage in California ain't it like 16.50?
I don't know. Let me check. I have to look everything up. I can't keep all that information in. I'm not AI.
But yeah, so do we have is our minimum wage still? I know our minimum wage still. I
It's
forgot
still
what it was.
$7 and
No, it ain't.
65 cents. Yes,
No,
it
it
is.
ain't. Oh my God.
Yeah, the minimum wage is national.
No, they have different like
No,
state because
no,
like California, they upgrade theirs to
that's
when I
because
was working out there, the minimum wage was $15 an hour.
Look,
that's because they want to. But I'm meaning California minimum wage is $16.50. But that's because California voted for that. They can still, if they don't want to pay this $16.50, they can go by the national minimum wage, which means in order for you to get a job, that they have to pay you the national minimum wage, and which is I think $7.25. So California opt to pay their people that.
yep.
Washington opt to pay their people what they pay them, but they don't have to. It's all a choice.
North Carolina and South Carolina minimum wage is $7.25.
So is Texas. That's
Most
crazy.
southern states go by the
That's
national minimum wage,
And you know what's so
and that's
crazy?
why they won't. That's why they won't raise it, because they all greedy and they all want to make the money. But like if you go to Dallas or you go to any metropolitan city, even in the smaller cities in Texas, nobody is working for $7.25. They have pushed it up to $8.50, anywhere from $8 to $15 in Texas, because the competition and people don't want to work, and people are not going to work for those low wages. So when you go into a company and you see
Unless
that
they're
they
an
pay you,
immigrant.
yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's why these farmers are crying, because the immigrants will work for $7.25, whereas Americans won't do that. Americans won't even work for the minimum wage, and
They
that's
won't
why
even work
these
for
states,
$10 an hour. You tripping.
yeah, and that's why these states push it up to, that's why they push their own. It's not a requirement, but a lot of these corporations are moving their minimum wage up just to get the employees because of the competition. And one of my contributors is right. That bill did not pass in Florida. The House passed it,
That
but
allowed
the
them to
Senate,
have
but that
16 to
allowed the kids
50
to work.
year.
But see what the Senate did? It went to the Senate, and the Senate didn't vote on it, and they left. So the bill's just sitting there. So DeSantis gonna have to start all over again. So the bill
So it
reads,
may or may
they,
not pass.
it's not gonna pass. Not in this session. It's not. It's gonna have to. They're gonna have to bring it back up in next session. But
Oh.
right now, it's on the table. It's put to rest for right now in Florida.
Y'all,
And
I am already 41 minutes late for what
Well,
I'm
you the
supposed to
one
be
asking
doing.
all the questions, man.
I know. I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation, but at the same time, I still got shit to do. But do y'all want to stay on and I'll just drop off or?
Now I actually have stuff to do also, and
and I
so
do too. I
I,
don't have
I'm
time
getting
for
ready. I
y'all
got
no
to get
more.
ready for my grandbaby to come over.
Look,
It's time. It's
look, I don't
quality
have time
time
for
for the
y'all no
grandbaby.
more. No, I'm
What you
just.
say?
I said I
What
don't
you say,
have time
Foxy?
for y'all no more.
You don't have time for some more, Foxy. Well, go on
Foxy.
and get your groove back this Saturday, Foxy. Whatever.
Okay, Stella.
Look, I'm
All
getting ready
right,
to go put me
Stella.
three beers in my freezer, and I'm getting ready to relax and
Okay.
chill, and put on some oldie but goodies.
I
And,
know
and, and
that's
y'all that
right.
go to Foxy Church, don't y'all tell it on her.
Yeah, y'all can tell that I'll be dancing down the aisle in the church.
I hope you don't be after 3 Brewsters.
Hey, I've gone to the church
Look,
before.
you never know.
Look, wait a minute. Now remember when we was growing up, we go out to the club, and you know how many drinks we done had, and we got a hangover sitting up in church.
Those were
But that's a whole
that's
nother
the old me.
conversation. That's a
Right.
whole nother conversation. And we want Minion to go on and go do what he got to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to do what I got to do. But we would like to thank each and every last one of you for
Yes,
joining us
every last
today.
one of
This
them.
has been a blast. This is what we do. We love these politics, and we glad that you guys joined us for this, because this is a very important day. With protests all around America, with the president having a military parade for his birthday. And so I'm glad the counter protests are going on. And I hope I know a few of them are going to go on, but I hope enough of them will go on so that and we know how the news is. The news is already scared of him, so they're probably going to highlight the parade more than they're going to highlight the protest. But hopefully, we have some news channels that'll highlight both, or just highlight the protest and don't highlight his birthday. But I know they have to say something about it. But we would like to thank each and every last one of you for joining us today. Thank you for the Truth Telling Squad. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out today. Appreciate all your comments, your support. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, especially if you're on the replay. And we will see you guys next time.
Also, Justin, our favorite mod, thank you so much for modding for us today. We really appreciate you. Any other mods on here from Minion's channel or from I Said What I...
Oh, I'm sorry. That was just for Justin.
Hello, any one of your mods are on here. We want to thank you so much for moderating for us today. Also, for all those that came over and spent time with us. We, like she said, we're politicians. And we love politics, so we just want to make sure that everybody, including ourselves, are up on everything, so we know what we're looking, what's going on, so we know what's might happen today or the next week.
And the good thing is that even if you're ignorant to politics, like a lot of times I may be in the conversation, you can still join because that's what we're here for, to learn together. So none of us have to feel any type of way about knowing or not knowing anything. We're out here to learn and become a coalition of people who are here for supporting what's right.
And me and Foxy definitely gonna fact check Minion.
Hey, I might spew a whole bunch of stuff, but you want to know what? I'm gonna be confident when I'm saying it.
I understand that.
That's goddamn right. All right. So y'all have a great evening. We will talk to you guys soon. See you later.
See you later.
All right, we're out.
Foxy, bring the fire. Minion got the facts. I said what I said, yeah, no taking it back. It's truth with a twist, and we had a little mess. But don't get it twisted, we still say it best. This ain't your mama's news, it's off the record. Unfiltered, unbothered, undeniably black.